You are live. All right, we're live.
Woo!
Woo! What's up, guys? Welcome to the show, the call-in show. This week, I have my second option, PoNGa. Um, Thank you, PoNGa, for the better half of the Box Nostalgia podcast, especially after this week. So we're very excited. I'm very excited to talk to you this week and to actually we're going to rank something. We're going to do a tier list
Yeah,
because
copier.
why have a Box Nostalgia member on the podcast and not put them through a tier list just like they put all of their guests through? Um, if you guys haven't seen my episode, I was on Box Nostalgia podcast last week, right after Chicago. It was tons of fun. We ranked a bunch of Charizard artworks. You should definitely check that out.
Mid Charizard artworks too.
Some of them were not so great. Some of them were
There's one
definitely not so
spicy
great.
take in there, I'll say that.
There is a spicy take, and I hardcore still disagree, but I'll get over it someday, I think.
It is what it is.
So PoNGa, tell people where they can find you, what you're doing here recently, all that stuff. And yeah, just I don't know if I've ever had you on the channel apart from I know you called in once, I think.
I was on the game show as well. I
Oh yeah,
dominated
that's
Dan.
right. That's right. You destroyed
Yeah.
Dan in that. But yeah, just let people know kind of who you are, what you've been doing recently, and then we can hop into ranking some Surging Sparks secret rares.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I need to go through the whole story, but it's basically what most people I got in right before COVID and been buying, flipping, collecting, all the above since then. So it's a little over 4.5 years. More recently, this year, me and Bierski started our podcast, the Box Nostalgia Podcast. Shameless plug there. But yeah, we do tier lists. We do a segment called Rabbit Holes where we each give each other a topic to research, and then we talk about it for I'd say probably 2 to 5 minutes each. We do like an item of the week, showing something cool from our collection. When we have guests on as well, we do Who's That Pokemon, where we try to make the guest guess what Pokemon is like the silhouette of the Pokemon. Thanks for posting the link. But yeah, besides that, just recently started streaming on Fanatics with Catch 'em All Collectibles. So me and PK are his two streamers currently. I've only done 3 streams to this point because of Chicago, but it's been fun. We have the viewership, which is really, really nice. It's a good source to liquidate stuff fast, and I'm really excited. I'm starting to like get to know the people that join every stream. Like you start recognizing the names. One guy like makes crazy like keychains and like stained glass art and 3D print stuff, and he's been sending me pictures on Instagram. So just really excited to get into that as well. But yeah, Box Nostalgia, Instagram, PoNGa Collectibles, and then our Fanatics live stream, which is under the Catch 'em All Collectibles banner. Or umbrella, I should say.
So this year was kind of PoNGa's year for
Yeah,
like getting on
totally.
YouTube, starting a podcast, hopping into live streaming, like putting your face more like to the name out there and public and stuff. How I know you've only done the 3 streams so far, but how has that been, do you think? Have you enjoyed it? Is there anything surprising about it that you didn't think you would like, or something you don't like, or something you want to improve on, or how's that been going?
Yeah, I think it's so different than being on a live like this, where you could kind of rely on the other person to entertain or bring up a topic or have some dead air where you don't have to speak. When you're live streaming, not only do you have to basically talk up the product, or I guess you could talk down the product as well if you don't enjoy it, which I like being honest. Um, but you also have to like entertain, right? Because like people are there for entertainment. Not everyone's buying something. Like if you have 50, 60 viewers, like I might ship out 20, 25 packages, which means half the stream's not buying anything. They're just there to watch, see people rip packs. So that's been a little bit of a challenge. We were just talking before streaming why we were late. My audio on my computer is way messed up now because I had to find a way to blend my microphone audio with music. So I feel like you see a lot of streams where people play like music on their phone and it sounds kind of bad. Um, but I found a way to like play it through the computer, right? So it's going to sound like you're turning the music on your computer. But then it messed up my audio for everything else. So that was been a challenge and something I've been working on this week. I promised I'd have it figured out for my stream tomorrow to the people that watch me. So got that figured out. But the first stream, for whatever reason, I was not enjoying ripping packs, which I found really, really surprising. But ever since then, I think it's like the hecticness, right? You're trying to open packs quickly. You're trying to make sure that people can enjoy it, so you don't want to do it too quick. But then you also need to manage like, okay, which cards am I sending them like on the spot, right? Like we do hollow or better, right? So every single packet Scarlet and Violet has a hollow. So you have to make sure to put that to the side, keep the cards on screen, all that kind of stuff. So that was a little bit of a challenge at first, getting used to doing that.
Yeah, and Fanatics, I think Dan might have mentioned it, or maybe you mentioned it, but they have like not only do you have the camera that you're showing people, but you also have like a security camera that's recording you guys to make sure that you know nothing nefarious is going on there. So there's like you have to manage two different camera systems, and then I'm sure with ripping or three.
Yeah. So you have the camera
Oh
you
yeah,
see
you have your
currently.
webcam.
You have the desk camera, and then I have another monitor to my right with a security camera. So that camera can basically see my whole. So like I have a Catch 'em All Collectibles playmat. It could see the whole area of my playmat, right? So the idea there is when you open a pack or something, if it accidentally comes off screen and someone complains, well, hey, Fanatics is recording our desk, right? Now, if I pull it off screen, right, to package it or whatever, then that's out of their hands. But it is an added security measure for those of you that watch Fanatics that don't know that they care enough to basically monitor us on the back end of things. So, a Blake's Breaks thing doesn't happen where I'm switching out packs, or hey, if there's a stack of packs, and Java joins, I don't pick the third pack in the stack for no reason, right? But yeah,
Yeah,
that's just an added security measure. Yeah, so there's 3 cameras, a microphone, music. Yeah, it's
it's a
quite the
lot.
production.
So on your streams, is it a mixture of ripping and singles? Are you trying to lean more towards one or the other, or do you like the mix, or what do you think you'll want to do going forward in terms of product?
Yeah, so the first stream, I'll start with kind of how I'm changing with what I like to do. So the first stream was like, hey, we're only going to do auctions up front because Dan said, hey, pick a bunch of stuff, guarantee it no matter how prices are, right? We're going to go big. So we were doing auctions up front. Now, the thing that I don't know if people all realized was we had a code catch 'em 20 for $20 off your first only buy it now purchase, right? So we had a ton of buy it now options, which tended to be breaks. But we wanted to get through all the auctions that we guaranteed at the same time. So we did auctions up front, and some people had to wait like 2 or 3 hours to actually get their stuff ripped, which at that point, I was like, well, I'm already 4 hours into the stream. If people aren't here, I'm just going to ship it sealed. They can't complain about getting sealed packs, right?
Right, yeah.
If they're not there to actually watch it. Now, in hindsight, they could watch the replay, whatever. But now I've changed it to where, and I think PK does it too. If someone buys a break during the stream, I instantly cut to that right away, just so people don't have to wait. It doesn't happen all that often. I think a lot of like the big streamers, like Old School Pokemon, talk about how when they get to the breaking portion, like they lose half their audience. So there might be some adjustment there as well. But I also like to do like auctions of like random pack lots during my auctions as well, just to get kind of like change it up. So if we're running 5 singles, 2 slabs, 3 singles, I might throw in like the other day I did the first 7 sets of Scarlet and Violet all in one lot, right? And it's going to be ripped now, hits only. So just to like break up the stream a little bit, make it a little more fun for me and make it refreshing for the people that are watching rather than seeing the third Mew card that's getting auctioned off in a row or something.
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure there'll be adjustments and stuff we tweak, but that's kind of what I'm going with right now.
What so Oak is here. Hello, Oak. Same with Chex and Namp and Hivemind, but Oak has a question. Well, are you saying breaking isn't cool anymore? I thought that was the best thing about the live aspect.
No, I didn't. I said the first stream was hectic, right? Like it's hard when you have 80 auctions and then you start breaking stuff. it's a little hectic, right? And that's all I meant by that. Since the first stream, I think breaking is the more fun stuff to me. But I will say you do lose viewership when you get to people's breaks.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I wonder because you guys are a lot of the times that you guys are live on Fanatics, you guys are like one of maybe two or three at the most
Usually
Pokemon,
one of one, but yeah.
yeah, Pokemon live streams on Fanatics. So, do you guys do you think that is advantageous? I feel like when I go to Whatnot streams or even eBay live streams, a lot of people like skip around. They'll be like, "Oh, this card I don't want. I'm gonna go back over to Nick and see if he's got one I want. Nope. Okay, I'm going back to Chef. Okay, I'm going back to Weedle. Okay, I'm going back to Chef." And they like move around and stuff. And then sometimes they're like, "Oh, I missed the card," and stuff like that. Because there's less competition, do you find that people are there like the whole time and chatting and stuff, or is there that same hopping
Yeah, we could ask
even?
that question to Chex too in the chat. He's always in my live streams. He's there the entire time. But yeah, I see the same buyers from when I start stream to when I end stream, which to me probably means people are sticking around for the most part. And it's the same names in every single stream I've done for the most part. Obviously, people go in and out. You can see when people join. So I'll see people
Mm.
leave, come back 30 minutes later. But yeah, for the most part, I think it does help us, right? There's no other Pokemon stream for people to jump to. And I don't know if people have actually watched the other Fnatic streams, and I'm not talking down on them because what they do has a place and there's people that enjoy it. But a lot of times it's more of the gambly stuff, right? Where, hey, I got a mountain of product behind the camera and we spin a wheel, right? We auction a slot, we spin a wheel, and you win a booster box, you might win a blister, and you just win an item in the background, stuff like that. Or they'll do like the energy break thing where you get a energy and you get the cards from that energy. We're pretty much, from what I've seen, one of the only ones that actually do the straight up auction $1 starts and then buy it now packs. So I think that's a little benefit to us as well for the more traditional Pokemon collector, I think, rather than the sportsy game streamer kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Ernie's here, number one Fanatics and number one YouTube streamer on the same pod. All right,
Is it
I'll take it.
not by follower count, but by viewership, we are definitely the number one Pokemon stream on the platform.
There you go. There you go. All right, so definitely check out Fanatics Live. PK is live pretty consistently. PoNGa, are you shooting for a certain amount of days per week? You think like 1 or 2 days a week or something like that right now, or what? Do you think you'll have like a consistent schedule going forward?
Yeah, so it's obviously with Chicago it messed everything up because I did one stream and then Bierski came in Wednesday, was staying with me. And then PK was live like every night doing his thing. So um I'm for sure gonna be doing Thursdays because PK, that's like the one day he's not gonna do because he has his YouTube stream. So it just naturally fits that I could go live Thursday nights. I'm aiming a little earlier than normal, so like 5:30 Central. So then I could still watch Thursday night football for the most part. Vikings Rams tomorrow.
True.
Then I tried a Saturday like noon Central stream last week, and the viewership was like way down, and it got a little dark. So I might try that again, just so like maybe people didn't know whatever. But yeah, I'd probably want to pick up maybe a second weekday stream. I really like Thursdays because you have 2 business days to ship stuff like most platforms.
Yeah.
So it gives you till Monday if you have stuff going on. I like to get stuff out Saturday morning, so I pack Friday. But if I need it, I could ship it Monday, right?
Yeah, I think if I were to ever stream, I would want that packing day to be on the weekend for sure.
Yeah.
That would just be way
Oh,
less stressful.
which by the way, the first stream I had, we were auctioning like the most random sized things, and I didn't have all the right boxes. I was hunting around my house for like 3 hours trying to find the right size boxes to ship stuff. Like when someone orders a booster box, a Japanese box, and 4 slabs and 10 singles, well, you either have a box that's way too big or a box that's too small. It's really hard to find the right size box to where, you're not way overspending for shipping. But yeah, that was a nightmare, but we're all good.
So on Fanatics, you can have like bin stuff. So that's how your breaks go, right? Where you have like 7 of a particular pack or 5 of a particular pack, and that's just buy it now. Like that's just a set price.
Yeah, but
And then you have auctions.
as I mentioned earlier, I'd like auction some packs just to get stuff rolling because
Yeah.
not. I mean, sometimes people buy in the buy it now, but from what I've seen, like when I
Can the
auction packs, they do just as well.
do the other live stream platforms do that? Have buy it nows that sell during the stream that you then is that like a whatnot thing maybe? Because I don't know if I've seen that on eBay.
I don't watch that many eBay live streams, but I'd imagine they have buy it nows, right? Like when Nick does pack rips, I'm sure those are buy it nows, and then
Okay.
he has
They
like
they must have it then. Maybe Chef is just only doing single auctions. eBay has it
yeah.
too.
I
That's what
don't think
Grimer
he
said.
does that many rips, right? I think he's mainly auctions, but
Yeah. I think he did rips a little bit and then decided not to. Oh, Simply Jack. Hello. It's on the bottom carousel. Okay, okay. Interesting.
yeah, I was gonna say because like
Um,
when Weedle opens
oh
those expensive
yeah.
boxes, they're buy it nows, right? Like you're not gonna
Yeah,
auction
the
a Sky Ridge
Skyridge.
pack.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I should have remembered that. All right. So let's hop into the tier list.
Let's do it.
Um, I know that you guys on your Box Nostalgia podcast, you guys already did the first half of this set,
Wait,
Paradise
can I
Dragona.
mention? Can I do one more plug and then I'll be done for the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
night?
Go for it.
So in my bio in Instagram, I have a link tree. If you follow that link tree and go to Fanatics Live link, and you haven't signed up yet or didn't have a Fanatics ID, that link will give you $25 credit, and it will also give us $25. Hashtag added, hashtag affiliate. But I do need to say that you will get 25 free dollars. Now I'm done.
All right. Let's jump to the tier list. So today we're going to be ranking all of the illustration rares and special illustration rares from the new set. What's it called? Surging Sparks.
Surging Sparks.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Paradise Dragona, and then but that was the half that you guys have already ranked. But we're going to do the English, both sets put together, and rank all of these cards here. Now we're doing this mostly because the Box Nostalgia podcast does a tier list on almost every episode, if not every episode. So, and I thought it was really fun, and I thought I would subject PoNGa to one. So we are, yeah, I guess that's it. That's what we're going to be doing. So there are a lot of cards that are cut off on the right hand side. So as we work through it, you'll see the cards that look like they're missing kind of fill in. So it should be all of the cards, the Pikas and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just a little cut off so I can make it bigger and easier to see for you guys. All right. So the first card is this Spheal card. I know it's a little small on your guys' end, but we can see it pretty well. You guys could pull up the Justin Basil card list if you need to see it in bigger form fashion. What do you think of this one, PoNGa?
I don't hate it, but it's just the meh tier. It's okay. Um, I mean I like the scenery, but it's not anyone's really favorite Pokemon. To me, I really don't like this Pokemon because Pokemon Go. Um, but yeah, it's just okay.
Okay.
I mean, I like it, but it's not like
So would that be in the decent tier or the meh?
the
Meh,
meh.
I feel more is like a negative,
Well, see, then we need another
and
tier
decent
because there
is
needs to be
like
one
meh,
above
it's
awesome.
decent.
There needs to be one between awesome and decent then.
What do you mean?
So I think it's decent then if meh is kind of negative.
Meh is like whatever. Bad is like
Okay,
that shit's bad.
then
Decent
I'll
is
go
like, oh,
decent.
it's all right.
I'm used to having like 14 tiers with half grades, so
Half grade. Yeah, we don't got half grades on this one.
yeah, I'll do decent. I'm with decent.
Okay, I would agree with you. I think that this one is decent. I think it's super cute. I love I don't know. It's just cute. It's cute. It's a decent artwork. It's not my favorite Pokemon either, but I like it enough. It's not awesome, but I think it's okay. I think it's decent. This one, Vivillin. I like this Pokemon. I'm not sure that I like this card.
I agree.
Um, yeah, it's got the. Is this one of the claymation card artworks.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I tend to not like these ones very much, but I would put this in meh. I don't think it's like bad, but I don't think it's great either.
Yeah, I mean, they could have probably done better, but I agree with you. It's probably in the meh tier.
Oh, son of a merc says someone called it Spiel Team 6.
That makes this card awesome. We gotta rate it.
there is 6 of them. So,
That's
oh man, that's
hilarious. I didn't
funny.
even notice that.
All right, so let's put that in meh.
I'm not even gonna lie. This might be the first time I've even seen that card, so maybe that's why I didn't notice it.
Honestly, I think it's the first time I've seen it as well. I think it's got to be in the other side
new
of Surging
set, right?
Sparks. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that set list, so I'm not sure.
All right, we have Clobopus.
I actually like this card. I don't know that it's awesome tier, but I think it's one of the better IRs in the set, in my opinion. So I think it's decent.
Yeah,
I
this
think
is
it's
one of
cute.
those. This is one of those where the artwork I think is better than the Pokemon that's on the art.
Yeah.
So
It reminds me of like a Bubble Mew type art style, right? Like, is this the same artist?
that's a good question. It could be USG Men, Uzgmen. Is that the same artist, guys? I'm not sure.
I don't know. It kind of looks like that, right? Like
Has a similar same artist, yes, Nampi. So
look at that. Hey, look.
there you go.
Hey, you used to give me a hard time about not liking artists, but I know my stuff
There you
clearly.
go. So where would you put this? Decent, meh,
Decent. Yeah, I'm at decent.
Yeah, I think the art is good. The problem really is the Pokemon. I just don't really care for the Pokemon all that much. I would probably put it in meh, but we'll put it in decent because we don't have half grades on this app.
Yeah, but like I feel like a lot of these IRs aren't the most popular Pokemon, right? So like you said you like the art, so I think decent's pretty fair.
Yeah,
Even if
the
you don't
art's
like
good
the
for it.
Pokemon, like an IR that's going to be a $5 hit or $10 hit at most, like if it's got a really cool art, it's automatically like at least decent for me.
Yeah.
Clobbopus next Bubble Mew. Maybe.
All right, next one we have is Shinotic.
Thankfully you didn't put Bierski on this one because he would have put this in awesome.
Oh god.
Yeah,
that's why we have the better half, PoNGa. We don't have Bierski to tank the tier list.
The guy just wants to be different so bad. Oh wait, you go first this time. Go ahead.
I'm kind of in the meh with this one. I'm not a huge fan of the Pokemon, and the artwork is just kind of it's all right. It's not like horrible, but it's not like blowing me away either. So I'd probably be in the meh tier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in between the middle of the road with this one, so meh is probably fair. But I mean, it's a nice card. Like I wouldn't hate having one, but it's not my favorite.
Fanpea.
Love this Pokemon.
Yeah, I like Fanpea. He's a little cutie.
Man.
And there's Donphan. I didn't even see the Donphan in the background. I thought he was going through like a tunnel or something, but those two
I thought
things
it
are
was like
Donphans.
it looked like that's why I got close to my monitor because it's the first time I've seen this card. It looks like it's like running through like a European alleyway.
Yeah, yeah. But it's actually, it's two Donphans.
It's
It
like
almost has a.
This is super cute. I'm going decent.
Yeah, I like this one. It's got a Lion King feel to it a bit.
I like this one. I want that card.
This is a good one. We'll put it at the front of decent. A Alolan Dugtrio.
See, I like this art style though.
The art style is cool. The problem is the hair.
The hair is awesome. It makes Dugtrio so much better.
What? Oh,
You're
man.
just a hater. You're such a hater.
Maybe. I mean,
see, this is okay. You're all about Gen 1 Pokemon and Thanos snapping. So newer generation Pokemon, they reimagine the Pokemon you love, and then you still don't like them.
Yeah, because they made it worse.
I don't know. I think Dugtrio with hair is way funnier than regular Dugtrio.
Well, it's funny for sure, but I don't know if that makes it better or worse. It's just funny. I'm laughing at it, not with it.
This card's like impossible to rank because like I wouldn't be mad at decent and I wouldn't be mad at meh.
A lowland Java would be a pillar. All right, Grimer.
Could you imagine him with the nice
Oh,
golden
wait.
locks?
Oh, man. I'm going to have to grow my hair out, or what's left of it.
You're yeah, you're ranking this one first. What are you putting it at?
I mean, I guess I would put it in meh, but I assume you'd probably want indecent.
I wouldn't be mad at either. So you gave me the Clobopus, so I could give you this one.
We'll put it in the front of meh.
Yeah. I
Our
just love the art
rankings will
style. I
be.
like that cartoony type style art.
I like it too. It looks good. It looks good.
It pops. It pops a lot. That's why.
It does. Java doesn't like anything. Yes, I do.
I gotta agree with Chex. He's one of my biggest buyers. I love Chex. What's up, Chex?
What's up, Chex? What's up, Chef? Beerski, I guess. Hello.
Imagine like he backs out and he still hangs out in stream. That's why.
Right? What is that? What is that?
We're going to like midnight, so maybe that's why he backed out. I don't know.
All right, let's see. So we have Mesprit now. So I didn't realize this at first, but it is the third piece to the Latios. If you put it on the left-hand side of those two Pokemon, it fits like perfectly in the sunset. So it's like it's basically yeah. I can't put it together because I don't know where the other one is, but it's yeah, it's similar. It's got like the same vibe.
It's just an IR though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So why
Just
did
with
they
the
make one?
Latios.
Why did they make one an SIR and two of them at IRs?
I honestly don't know. I don't know why Latios and Latias are not both SIRs. It seems
Because then they
weird.
don't really go together, right? Because they're different style cards.
Yeah.
It's like the gold cards if like one of them wasn't gold.
That or you should make the SIR fit in the middle of the two.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
somehow
I could
make
see
it
that.
more symmetrical. No, it's not Java. A different artist, and the Latios already has a sun in the art. Oh, so I saw
Oh,
someone
this
like.
guy's telling lies.
So I saw someone trying to make it that, but it's not. Latias is an SIR because it's super playable.
Grimer, we don't play the game here. Get
Yeah,
out of
who
here.
cares about playing the game?
We're
There's
here
a
to make
game.
money
Come
and look
on.
at cool cards.
All right, I was wrong, Nanpete. My bad. What's up, Luke? Welcome.
I actually like the trio. I like Mesprit a little bit. I think it's. This is why it's hard to have 4 tiers only because.
I would go decent with this, like high decent.
That's where I probably am at too. Now I will say, like, I don't really like how there's like multiple cards with the same background. Like this, the Latios, like they look like the same card with just a different Pokemon on it.
It is a very similar background style. Definitely.
And especially since they don't go together, it kind of makes it even worse. But yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Next we have the cast form, which
this
has
is the best IR of the Scarlet and Violet era.
Ton of detail in it. I don't know if I would go that far.
Well, I mean, there's wrong and there's right people. So.
But I do like that it includes all the forms, the base form, and then all of the like elemental forms. I think that's really cool. There's a lot of detail in the world, in the background. I'm assuming you wanted an awesome.
It's above awesome for me.
We'll put it in awesome. We'll see where it goes from there.
It's like for an IR, the amount of detail in that, like
there's a lot of detail for sure.
I think it's really cool when they have Pokemon like above like the region, like the Arceus alternate art and stuff like that. Like I really like those cards because like it really gives you perspective of like the whole region. So
yeah.
And like I'm a big Pokemon Go player, and like if you've played Pokemon Go, cast forms like when it's raining out and you get the different forms, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. We have the Jasmine. Jasmine, is that her name?
Sure.
She's sitting at the cafe eating a sandwich. So Chef actually told me that I guess at the end of the game or something, you can refight Jasmine and you find her in a cafe and she's eating or something like that. So it's like a callback to the video game. I don't know. I don't know. It's just Chef. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he mentioned, which is cool. I think that's really cool, and I think the artwork it's super cool. I don't know. I like it.
Sorry, where are you at on it?
I mm, I'd probably be high decent.
High decent.
Yeah.
See, I'm just like not a fan of most of the trainer cards. I guess it's cool. I'd be fine with decent. Yeah, I'm fine with decent just because of the setting around her. But
You get her number in the Olivine Diner, and she says that all the empty plates was not her. Okay. You get Jasmine's number in game at the cafe, and she is housing food. It's got to be the same artist as the Charizard V Star. Oh, the cast form, probably right. Narano. It seems like a very similar design style as the Mewtwo and Charizard V Stars from.
yeah, that like vertical perspective looking down.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That wouldn't surprise me. Next, we have Durant, the card that you can infinitely put next to each other to create a long line of ants.
I think this card's awesome, and I know for sure this card in person, especially Japanese, is going to really pop. I don't know if I could put it in awesome though, but I'd be pretty high on decent. I like this card.
Yeah, we could go like there.
Man, you hate this card. That's crazy.
I'm.
Have you seen someone put them
It's an
next to each
ant,
other?
man. It's an ant.
Dude, I
It's an
saw someone
ant.
put them next to each other and they look so good.
I think the texture is actually really sick. I do have a couple of them coming in from Japan for Chef, and yeah, I'm excited to see it. All right, we got Lycia's Appeal. Now, if I remember correctly, you didn't like this card as much as the regular secret rare of Lycia.
I like the full art better. Yeah.
I didn't include the full art, so we're just doing the SIRs. But I really like this card. I think it's really good. I like that they included the Altaria. It's a really nice like action pose. Something's actually going on. It's a little close up. It's a little heavy, a little hectic, but I think it's actually really cool. I like it.
So where
I would put this one probably in awesome.
Yeah, I can't put it in awesome.
High decent.
I'd be good with decent, but I mean, if you feel that strongly about it, you could put it in awesome. I just don't necessarily.
We'll do low awesome. We'll put some cards in front of it, but I think it's really. I just think it's really good.
I'm not gonna argue that far against it. I like Altaria, so
who's the artist on this one? Oh, I don't know them. It's very anime art style. Which why can't Tokia come back and do cards, man?
I don't know who that is.
They did the they did like the Ninetales from Heart Gold. And yeah, they stopped doing cards at like Rebel Clash or something like that. They haven't done one since. It's so annoying. He's my favorite illustrator. All right, we got Sea Titan. I don't like this Pokemon.
I didn't. So I think I might have said this when we did our Paradise Dracona. Maybe if this was one of them. I've never seen this Pokemon before.
I don't like it. It's just it's like is it supposed to be a whale? It's a whale, but it has legs and arms. Like I just don't understand what's going on.
You know, so like I get what they're doing, like with the ice and stuff, but like
I don't. This might be my first bad one.
Yeah, I don't really like it at all.
I don't like it.
Like if I pull, this would probably be the one where if I pulled it, I'd be like, wow. Yeah, I got the worst one.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one. The Execute.
High decent.
Yeah, this card is really good.
Wait, Luke is just making stuff up. How many times have I said I like the art? I've said for like 70% of the cards, Luke. You're just a hater. I love this card though. This is definitely like upper decent. I'm borderline awesome. I love this card.
So we could put that right there for now because I agree. I think it is definitely borderline awesome. I think it's a great. It's just like a. I don't know. I just like it. Like were they playing the sports? That there's no way they could play the sports, right? But there's a bunch of sports all around them. Were
They
they being
definitely were. They're
hit
all
with a
tired
tennis
up.
racket? I don't know. It's
They're
wild.
Pokemon. They could probably move it with their mind or something, even though they're not.
True.
I don't know.
Appleton.
I think it's cute, but it's just probably meh for me.
Yeah, we could do that. Appleton is probably my least favorite of the Apple. Actually, the one with like 7 heads is pretty freaking bad. That one's probably my least favorite. And then Appleton and then Flapple I think Flapple's actually badass, but I'm not a big Appleton person. So we can go meh with this. We'll put it there. Vibrava.
I don't think I could go bad. Um,
It's a little plain.
it's plain, but that's probably what they're going for. And
Yeah.
it kind of like blends into the tree a little bit with the wings.
Yeah.
I'd probably be like lower tier meh. I don't think I'm on the same tier as bad, but I don't hate it, but it's just meh.
I agree. Archaludon. I don't know. I didn't even know this Pokemon existed until you guys ranked it.
I feel like I might have said this when we ranked it as well, that like it's kind of got that cartoony vibe in the background. So I feel like I want to like it more than I probably do. I'm probably like what?
I wish we had a Y tier
Oh,
because
see, I'm not. Yeah, I think Bierski hated it too, if I recall. But I'm like upper tier meh, to be honest. Like I just like the background. I like the colorful, poppy kind of art.
it's a little it's a little like plain for a special illustration rare.
Yeah,
Like I feel like they typically have a lot more detail and stuff, which it doesn't necessarily make it bad. The reason why I said a Y tier is why does this Pokemon need to have another evolution? But I
yeah.
guess it
I didn't even
exists.
know
So
this existed either.
um, yeah, we could do the meh. You said higher meh. We could put it
Yeah,
up
I
there.
just like the background of the card. That's why it's like similar to what the Doug Trio is. Like I just like the colorful, poppy kind of art.
Yeah, we could put it up there for sure. Latios.
I think it's decent. I don't love it. I don't hate it, but it looks just like two other cards in the set. So I don't think I could go above decent in my opinion. Somewhere like middle tier decent.
Yeah, we could put it there. I agree with you. I think there's a part of me that wants to like it more because it is like
Yeah.
it's Latios,
Yeah.
but yeah, it is kind of it's not bad, but it's just kind of I don't know. I do love sunsets on Pokemon cards though. It
Yeah, but
always
like I said, it's like there's three of the same card in the same set, like almost. It's just a different Pokemon slapped in front of it, and one of them happens to be an SIR.
yeah, true. Feebas, ugly
Is
ass
it,
fish.
is it weird that I like this Pokemon?
It is kind of cool because it's that whole like ugly turns into something beautiful
Have you
situation,
seen the
right?
shiny, the purple one?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's purple, right? Am I for right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
The
it is
Feebas
purple.
shiny or the melodic shiny?
The Phoebus.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. It's like purple and gray.
I I play a lot of Pokemon Go. This is one of my favorite shinies because my favorite color is purple.
Yeah,
Um, I think like it being in kind of like murkier water, like not super colorful water, kind of fits the ugly fish
yeah.
type of theme. I think it's decent. I actually like it.
It's a bit it's kind of like the whole Magikarp Gyarados situation where it's like, but it's yeah, it's like the instead of becoming like fierce and scary, it's like, beautiful and elegant.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly. I bet you when they had conversation on the Pokemon that they were going to come up with, that's probably the exact conversation they had. Hey, we have a fish that turns into this like scary, fierce thing. Let's do one that turns into like a beautiful, elegant Pokemon. That's probably
yeah,
exactly what they had.
yeah. You said decent, somewhere in decent.
Yeah, I probably like around like the Mesprit area. Yeah.
Pikachu. So the big
God,
Pikachu
I want you to
pull
go first on this one.
from Surging Sparks. So I'm trying to evaluate it not by what I hope that they would do with it, and more by what it is. Um, because I had a lot of like hopes for what they could do with this, and then they kind of made something simple and plain. Um, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. I do actually like the card. I have a bunch coming in from Japan, so I'm excited to get those in and see the texture and everything on them. Uh, I actually really like it. I would. I, I'm assuming we might fight over this. I would probably put this somewhere in awesome. I do think it's good. I think they could have done something more like island vibe with the Pokemon, like the set seems to be themed instead of just kind of Pikachu on some grass. But I think it's a really beautiful Pikachu card.
I feel like it's just way too zoomed up. Um, so I don't. I think I'm higher than you probably thought I am on this card, but I really like the rainbow bordered cards. I think they're a better version of rainbow cards in general. Um, the one of the perks of streaming is I get to hold a lot of cards that I probably wouldn't typically, and I've gone through a lot of these rainbow cards and I really like them. So I'm probably like upper tier decent just because it's Pikachu, rainbow, the rainbow border, and I know for sure the texture is going to be absolutely insane on it.
Yeah,
So I feel like a kind of a flat picture doesn't do it justice. At least I'd assume. But I'm probably like in the decent. If you want to put it in awesome, I'm totally fine with that because it's Pikachu.
we could do like low awesome. We'll do low awesome because
Yeah, I'm fine with that's
I
fine.
think. Uh,
Awesome.
yeah, Ceruledge has to be awesome.
Yeah.
This is the best illustration rare in the set, I think personally.
Yeah. Um,
It's so good.
yeah, it's you could put it above cast form if you want, because when I rated cast form in my other tier list, obviously this card wasn't in that set. So I
Yeah,
mean this card, I think it's one of people like the favorites of the newer generations, and at least like from what I've never heard someone say something bad about it. To me, it doesn't really look like a Pokemon, but that's another conversation.
yeah.
Um, but maybe that's because it's so unique. And I could totally see the set coming out and that be like one of the primary chases. That like you know how there's those IRs that like blow up to $50. Like I could see this being one of those.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of I watched the first 3 episodes of the newest Pokemon anime recently, and he's like the main baddie in the series, at least so far, of like the main bad group. So I think that that is going to lend a lot of like popularity as well to this card, because he is kind of like he's almost made to be a villain essentially,
Yeah,
in his look and his place in the anime. So I think it looks really good. I like this a lot. We have Skarmory.
meh, like lower tier meh, like about around Vibrava.
Yeah.
I like the deserty type theme, and like you can kind of see the glare from the sun, but it's just too plain.
I thought it was actually kind of weird when I first saw it that they went so realistic on like the steel of his like body. I was like, I looked at it and the fact that they have like the steel top like vans too, it just kind of clashes a little bit. And it's just kind of strange. He doesn't look like he could move.
Yeah, it looks like a
Like
statue.
realistically, it looks like
Yeah.
a statue. Um so yeah, it is a little weird. So I would be in Met too. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's like crazy. Bruxish, bad. It's one of the worst Pokemon ever made.
Yeah, see, I just like colors. That's my problem. I've probably said it 15 times already in this stream that I like colorful. If it has color, it automatically goes higher for me. But I'd probably be like very, very bottom of meh. So if you want to put it in bad, I'm fine with that.
Put it in high bad. Hate that Pokemon. It's so bad. This is an interesting one now.
I need to pull up a bigger picture of this one.
Hydreigon.
Well,
This is Akira Igawa. I'm sure the texture is going to be insane. Like, I'm sure it just looks like the texture is going to be wild on it. But I don't like that the background is the same color as the Pokemon. Usually Pokemon is so good at like choosing like a color on the opposite side of like the color wheel that complements the Pokemon so that it stands out more. This, I feel like the body, apart from the heads that have like the shine on them, the whole body gets lost in the background.
I mean, couldn't you say that about like the Giratina Art though too?
Let me look it up. Giratina, is it Lost Origin?
I think it's decent.
I don't know if I would agree with the Giratina, because the Giratina, there's two different art styles for the Pokemon in the background. Like the background has a distinctly different art style than the actual Pokemon does.
I guess. I don't know. It's not my favorite card either way.
You were thinking decent, maybe?
Yeah, what did you say?
I don't think I gave it a rating. I would probably be in the decent. I think it's going to look really cool, but I think it is kind of tough to tell what it is until you kind of really start looking at it. Could put it in decent somewhere here.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's probably good.
That's Skarmory bangs. Sorry, man. All right. Latias EX. So the SIR Latias.
Oh, I don't know if I want to go first on this one.
So I pulled up the image in like a larger thing. I didn't actually realize that there's a cityscape underneath her.
Look.
He got one of the Skarmory. He's nice. So it's got kind of the vibe you were talking about with the cast form, where like you see some of the like the route or the city or wherever that they're flying above. I do really like sunsets. I don't think I would say awesome, but I would say like top of decent.
I'm with you on that. It's definitely up there. It's the best one out of the sunset cards, I think. So I'm with you.
The Melodic EX.
Above awesome, best card in the set.
I got a couple of these. I bought a couple of these because it just looks so freaking good.
What are they going for in Japanese right now? Do you know?
I don't know if it's changed since I bought them, but they were like 30.
Oh my god, I want to buy 500 of them.
Yeah, they were like high 20s, low 30s.
That is stupid. It's this is a very liked Pokemon. It's one of the better arts, I think, of Scarlet and Violet. Not the best, but one of the better ones, right? Like, it's definitely up there, AS tier, whatever you want to put. This is one of those cards, if it comes out cheap, and I think I heard someone else say it too, that like this I could see being $30 and then randomly it's like 70, right? Because everyone's like, oh, wait a second, this card's actually awesome.
Yeah, I agree with Grimer. How do you properly say this Pokemon's name?
I say Milotic.
Milotic. Milotic always has juicer arts. That's very true. Pokemon has one of the best EXs probably ever made. It's so good. My
Milotic, that's it. Yep. Yeah,
Milotic.
that's it.
All right.
Milotic.
Milotic.
I knew that too.
Next up, the Alolan Executor EX. Previously, I would have ranked this a lot lower.
No, it's definitely upper tier decent.
But I've seen some of them recently
They
in
pop.
hand. They are nice. And it's probably the only use of the crown that I actually like because it makes sense on this Pokemon because it's a tree. Like it just works. It's
Not a busy art, but it's got
solid.
like the cool colors in the background with the other trees. It's a very well done card. Very, very well done.
Yeah, I like it. Probably up there.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Braviary. Braviary, where are you?
I need to see this card bigger as well.
It's almost like it was done with crayon or color pencil or something. It's an interesting art style for
It
sure.
reminds me of like the Tornadus alt art. Is it Tornadus? Which alt art is that?
Tornadus.
Yeah. It's all right. I think it's decent. Like probably like lower tier decent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once again, it's got color, so that's
yeah.
I'm a sucker.
And it's a cool like medium art style. I think is interesting. So I'd probably put it there. Yeah, that works. I'm not huge on it. I think Braviary is a pretty cool Pokemon we haven't seen a whole lot of in like cards and stuff. So I think it could have had a more like badass artwork, maybe, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, if it were like an SIR, I think it'd be they could probably do something crazy, but it's just because it's an IR.
Yeah,
I think they kind of held back a bit.
I haven't seen the anime or anything, or if the Pokemon has a particular, like if it's an angry Pokemon or if it's like a, I don't know, but it has that vibe where like you do some really badass stuff with it.
Yeah.
Flapple. Flapple's definitely my favorite of the three. That's not really saying much though, because
let me
or it's my favorite of the three of those. I don't know if it's my.
I haven't really looked at this close up. Go ahead first. I'm trying to find a bigger picture of it.
I think it's fine. It's got a lot of detail. It's in like a jungle-esque setup. I really like the design of Flapple. I like the idea of like the little worm inside the apple that turns the apple into like wings and shit. I think it's actually pretty creative. And I think the artwork is pretty decent. I'd probably be in the decent tier somewhere.
Yeah, I'm probably with you as well. It's pretty cool. I don't hate it.
Put it up here.
I'm
somewhere.
not mad at it.
All right, last but not least, we have the Kecleon. Oh, actually, this artwork's actually pretty sick.
Yeah, I was just pulling up a bigger picture. I really like this card.
Like all of the little Kecleons are like the colors of the flowers that they're next to because they've changed color to like match the environment. That's actually pretty sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I trying to think where I want to put it though.
We have a lot of decent cards.
Yeah, I mean that's when you have 4 tiers and you like it. You said Met was negative, right? So it's like if you at least somewhat
like a slight negative, Ben.
I'm like probably like upper tier decent on this one. I like this card.
I like this card too. Probably put it like there. There we have it, fellas. We did the illustration rares and the special illustration rares from the new set, Surging Sparks. I think the set looks pretty good. I mean, it's not like insane. I don't think it's the second coming of amazing Pokemon sets yet. I hope that it ushers in some greatness, especially with the Rocket set coming up. But
I just think there's a lot of good IRs in this set, which should hold the setup pretty well, even if you don't like the SIRs. Because we know, especially in English, IRs tend to hold some value. So it's a pretty good set just because of those.
Yeah, I think yeah, we'll see how it ends up. It'll be interesting because I'm assuming the Pikachu will be like the chase, the expensive card, and then we'll see kind of from there what kind of stays up there. I have a feeling the trainer, what's her name again? Not Jasmine, but Licia. I have a feeling the Licia card will stay expensive. And then maybe the Cerulege. I'm not sure, but it'll probably depend on initial pull rates and PokeRev videos and all that stuff on what ends up popping off.
Not pull in his big opening. That'll be the one that pops.
Out of 1,000 packs, I never pulled the X card. That'll be the one you'll want to own. But yeah, cool. I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Let me know in chat what you guys think of Surging Sparks. What do you think overall?
Anthony's pissed. He's pissed.
That's okay. Yeah, what do you think?
What was Surging Sparks?
Yeah, what do you think of the set overall?
I think it's, like I said, I think it's really solid. I don't think there's, like, to me, one card that's like, besides Milotic, like that card, like I absolutely have to have. But I think it's just a lot of variety too with the Pokemon. I know, like, you're a fan of, like, when there's really super popular Pokemon, but I think this set does a really good job of picking different Pokemon that aren't necessarily loved but not necessarily hated, and gives them really, really good arts. So I'm kind of excited about that. So I think this is like one of the better sets in quite a while. I know that's like the hyped up thing to say right now, but seems like most people agree with that, even if that's what they hear on YouTube and that's what they follow. But it's a Pikachu set, which, you know, gives you the chase, but it also has a good mixture of middle tier cards as well, which I think is really important for a good set.
Yeah. I do want to ask as well, probably people have heard the news. I'm sure you've heard the news that 151 is getting a reprint in Japanese at least, and then further release in English. Good. I don't know if it's a reprint or not, but they're good. What do you make of that? Are you doing anything with it? Like, do you have any sealed
Buying
anything
more?
that you're selling, or
I mean, Japanese, I'll probably just buy more, assuming if boxes get back down to $50 again, like, you saw what it just did, learn from history, right? Like, I guess we could do the catch 'em all collectibles saying, right, where it's, well, they could print enough to where it stays low or goes down further. But if I learned anything about 151 at this point, until it doesn't perform, you keep buying it if you want to invest in it or whatever you want to do. So for the Japanese stuff, I'm happy about it. Like, it gives me an opportunity. I know I wish I had more time to pick up some, and I know I won't wait. I'll probably pick it up on its way down. Shout out to _retrospects on Instagram for your best Japanese prices. You're welcome, Retro. But yeah, the English side of things, I'm super, like, I don't know if it's a reprint. Like, people, like, I saw you overreacting a little bit in Discord saying, like, better sell all the cards. And it's like 151's getting restocked for like 2 months or a month and a half on Pokemon Center, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and like
Walmart has had drops like every day for the
I've gotten like I don't know 70 bundles from the restock, so like it's not that hard to get, and prices are still going up. and they were going up before like this little boom we're in. So if it's just like a Costco or Sam's Club product again, like I don't really think it matters all that much.
But that could be a mass, like if you what was that surf and whatever collection box that had like 16 packs of I mean, you had people going in buying pallets and pallets, and so many of those packs are out there. Like every day on Burbank City, it's like I have 1,000 plus of these packs, 1,000 plus of these packs. It's like at some point, either the market's got to eat it, they stay sealed, or prices come down, right? Like,
I think pack prices will probably come down a little bit, but like if it's just a Costco product, I doubt that it's gonna go back to MSRP if it's just released through that. I know I'll buy some and break them down for stream. So like
yeah,
151's open so frequent on every single stream. It's like the number one seller. So I mean, obviously, once again, if they have 15 pallets at each Sam's Club, like yeah, of course prices are going to come down. But I don't know, it's 151, right? Like if it goes cheap and you like the set, buy it. Like if you could get a if it's a reprint, whatever, like I'm an investor guy. Like I want more then. Like I'm fine. Like I don't
yeah.
need to sell it. That's what I did with the Crown Zenith boxes. Like I have one right here, right? Like if you like this set and believe in it, it doesn't really matter if there's more stock.
The one thing I might do, because I have what 2 cases of Japanese 151 that I bought when it was in the 50s. I have a local show coming up. I might try and sell 1 case, and then if it, because cases are like they're like $90 a box or something like that right now. So if I could sell some at $90 a box and then be in a position to buy 2 more cases or whatever, if the price drops to 50, $60, I might do that while the prices are still high. Not sell my entire position, but part of it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do definitely. Japanese 151 is the superior 151 because of the master balls, and I definitely think it's a fantastic. It's fun to open, fun set, good Pokemon, good stuff.
The way I like think about it in my head is like if I sell Japanese 151, let's say I sell half of what I have, and then the restock or reprint isn't as big, am I going to be more upset that I have to spend more money to add to my position, or am I going to be more upset that the price doesn't drop and then I might have to buy it even higher? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I think I'd be more upset if I sold it and couldn't buy it for cheaper than I would be if like I just held it and the price dropped. Because in my mind, eventually it's going to get back up to the price it is now. That's like what I think about.
Yeah,
Because like at this point, I've sold enough 151 and made enough profit on 151 boxes. Like Houston Collecticon last year, I was buying them for 120 bucks and selling them for 160, right? Like if I were to really figure out my cost basis and what I have, I'm sure it's like pretty low. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thought, right? Like if you're happy, worst case scenario, you still have a case and you're happy with that, I think it's a good route to go. Because yeah, if you could get 2 cases for $1,000 or whatever, like you made profit and you have more product, you have more inventory. So
yeah,
it's always a hard balance, right? Like you're never going to be able to get the top, you're never going to get the bottom, and it's very, very rare that you make the complete 100% right decision. So
yeah,
if you're going to a local show and you could get cash for a case, take it, right? Like you're profiting. You're not going to lose profiting.
yeah. No, that's true. McNick sold an English 151 Blastoise and PSA 10 right before it doubled. I think we've all done that in some way, shape, or form.
You know what I'm upset about? Like I traded in Chicago for a Zapdos and a 10. Why is that? Like it was like 150 bucks when I traded for it, and now it's only 200 or like 190. To me, like I don't know, maybe I just
It's the
like the
best card in the
card.
set.
Maybe I just like the card more than other people, but like why isn't that a $500 card?
It's the best card in the set, in
I think
my
it's like
opinion. Yeah,
I said it earlier, but like it's like definitely like one of the top cards in Scarlet and Violet for me.
Yeah, it's great.
So I was like, "Oh, everything's popping. Let me go check the Zapdos price," and it was like $199.99. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I just bought some of those recently in Japanese again.
What
I
does
am all
10 go for in Japanese? Like 70 or $80?
something like that. Yeah.
I remember I sold one in Charlotte last year because that was right after 151 came out, and I got one back like the day before I left for the show. And I think prices back then were like 160 or something like that. So
The Bubble Mew in Japanese is I was sold them in Chicago for $90.
yeah.
In
Well, I
English,
mean, the
they're like
box it comes out of
600
is
or
like
something like that.
$30. The box it comes out of is like $30. So
It's just the difference between the Japanese and English is just insane. But I'm sure if you looked at the the gem rates and all that stuff of Japanese and English, it would be a very different story. Dan, are you caught up yet? One of the anniversary episodes. Box better do a tier list of tier lists. Oh, there you go. That's an idea. You
we
tier
should
list
do a
all your
tier
tier
list
lists.
of we should do a tier list of
Co-hosts.
wait, what?
Tier list of all your co-hosts.
Well,
Your
see,
guest hosts.
if I knew people wouldn't get offended, but like you could kind of do it, right? Like there's a decent amount of people that have done tier lists, and still to this day we're the only ones that use Canva, which lets you blow up the picture nice and big.
Yeah.
And makes you able where you could drag it wherever you want. So we could do a tier list of how other people do tier lists, and
Infinite. There's infinite possibilities with tier lists.
Yeah, we could just do a tier list of like our group of people's YouTube channels. That would be hilarious.
Wait, what? How would you do that? How would you rate? Also, Dan. Okay, I just want to throw this out there. In your video, in your live stream the other night, you said that my channel was slightly smaller than yours. You might want to check the subscriber count, buddy.
Wow.
I may have
He had like
possibly passed you
130.
here recently.
He had like 130 people watching him though, so he's
No,
like
I know
basically.
he's insane when it comes to live streams. I don't know how he pulls
No, I
what
mean
he
that's just a
pulls.
recent thing though.
No, but he always gets like 50, 60, it's always up there somewhere.
Yeah, because
But
people think they're gonna tell him, they think he's gonna say how to make money, but in reality, he just talks about buckets. He talks about buy or buy. He didn't even shill fanatics on his stream last night with 130 people watching. Like,
but he did call you his friend. He corrected himself. He said my two streamers and my friend.
well, because like
and
in
my
his
friend.
recap video, he just called me one of his streamers. He did call me beautiful. He did say that, but he called me one of his streamers, and I didn't like that.
Now you're just an employee.
I'm not an employee. I'm not an employee.
A contractor.
Yeah. Legally, you can't say that.
I like that he pulled out the buckets, though. That was good. I saw one comment. I want to know what you think. You might have seen it in the Discord today. I'm sorry if you watch these videos, but it's just a wild comment. There was a comment that he addressed in the live that said, any card that has a pop under 10K is low pop. And when I looked at it, we did like a little bit of basically, what did I say? Like 170 TCG cards at PSA, only 170 cards are above 10K pop. Out of probably millions of cards, maybe hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, I mean,
so the percentage is tiny for the amount of cards that actually are over 10K in pop. Just one interesting statement.
Yeah, I'm just not a I understand they're useful, but I'm just not a pop report person. I don't really look at pop reports, so I understand their use, especially like he used like the Venusaur as an example. Like that card's only example. The Black Star promo is only expensive. Well, it is a nice card, but because it's like a pop 9 or whatever it is.
Yeah. It is crazy to think though that so many cards have thousands and thousands and thousands in the pop, and there are cards that exist from 1999 that only have 17 in PSA 10, like the Chansey that he showed, the Shadowless Chansey. Like that's like
Yeah,
16, 18 in PSA 10. Like
it is. It's
it's pretty
it's
wild.
crazy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. But I mean, the prices reflect it, right? Like, there's a reason why some WotC cards, people buy them for $10,000 because it's the last set or the last card in their WotC set, stuff like that. So it's wild. And I guess you just don't see mint copies of those cards out of packs, but just on the open market anyway. So like, even if you wanted to grade them, you're going to be grading a 7-8 probably. Um,
Do
yeah,
you
it's
think
wild. 10K is that's a wild statement.
do you think the eras between E series, WotC, and Sword and Shield, do you think that those eras will do you think there will ever be a resurgence in those
So you mean like EX,
eras?
Diamond, Pearl, those ones?
EX, Diamond, Pearl, Heart Gold, like all the way up through, I guess maybe before Sun and Moon, because Sun and Moon has seen popularity spikes because of the
What
alt
do you
arts
mean
and
by
stuff.
like a resurgence though?
Well,
Because
people going back and like those cards becoming popularized and more of them being graded and like those markets getting more like love and um or do you think it will just be everyone will only care about WotC and whatever, is it kind of after that the boom?
it's a really hard question because
Because it doesn't seem like
I feel like a lot of
that's
those cards are
happened.
really popular though, and the prices on the most popular cards reflect that. But I also think like when you go to like EX era, there are so many reverse hollows that like it's almost impossible for there to be that many popular cards, right? Like, you have the big ones obviously, but like, I don't know. I also just feel like there's just not that much of it. Like, if you saw someone with like a diamond and pearl binder at a collecticon, you would be like, "Oh my god, this is awesome." Right?
Right.
So, how much of it is a product of people just not being able to find clean copies or just find copies that are worthy to grade? And how much is it that people just don't like the card, right? Like, I think like EX, I don't know, it's hard. I'll answer it this way. I don't think it'll ever be as graded or as popular as WotC or whatever's the most modern era.
Well,
That'll
probably
answer
just
your
because
question.
there's less of it. But do you think that there's because I'm just trying to think like there's thousands upon thousands of these new cards and their PSA 10s are going for, twice, three times as much as these cards that have, less than 100 pop of popular Pokemon. Just as popular Pokemon could be the same Pokemon. And I mean, of course, it's just demand and stuff, but I wonder if that middle era will ever get as much love as kind of post boom and WotC, just because there was so much less people and so much less going on in that era that people have nostalgia for.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to think about. I think they should get more love, um, especially like EX era. Um, I feel like no one ever talks about black and white, but black and white has some really, really nice full arts. But I think it's like the product of like WotC being the chase cards are like hollows, right? Um, and like that was the thing. And then now it's like alt arts, tag teams, like these crazy looking cards. And then you look at like the middle eras and it's like you have like level X's and prime cards and
EXs.
yeah, EXs, but I feel like it's like I just feel like people aren't as big of a fan of those cards as like the original hollow and the newest cards.
Yeah.
But to me, I think that stuff's cool. Like, I would much rather have a lot of those middle era cards over like WotC cards.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because you see like WotC hollows when I see them, I'm like, oh cool, like whatever. Like, it's just a bland kind of card, and maybe that's a hot take, but it's probably because I see them every day. Like, everyone has WotC hollows. Um,
Some of my favorite cards are in the mid era, and that might be because like I basically I collected Neo to base to Neo, and then hopped out and then got back in during the boom. So there's that whole section that I've never discovered before. So I guess
yeah,
maybe it's just fun for me to go back and discover these things for the first time. And they're old and they're lower pop and they're niche and they're, to me, really cool. Yeah. Like really, really pretty cards. And so some of
take
my
a look at
favorite
this
cards,
card.
yeah, look at that Alakazam. So I don't know. I really like a lot of the mid era stuff, but maybe that's why. Maybe it's something that not everyone likes. So I feel less like I'm just part of the crowd, I guess. Maybe I can be more hipstery about it. And it's not Watsy stuff that I collected, when I was like 9. Um, it's something new to discover and to buy and flip.
Yeah,
And
I mean, you touched on it. I feel like I've been long-winded in trying to articulate it, but I just feel like there's so many cards that people don't know about. Um, like you said, like you're almost like discovering new cards. Like if I look at a mid-year set, like I don't know every card in the set, and I'm finding something new every single time just because you don't see it all the time. So I think that adds to the complexity of the question because how are people actually going to be exposed to those cards? Because like no one talks about them. You don't really see them in the news. Big channels don't review a random holo from Call of Legends like I just pulled out. So yeah, I mean, I wish they would be more popular, but that's why I like the sealed product because the sealed product holds value and the
all,
cards
yeah,
don't really.
all those sets are extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Do you have like a holy grail, like a card or something you want to do in the hobby, or something like a goal you're working toward, or like a far off thing that you're like, oh, if this ever happened, it'd be cool, but it probably won't, type of thing?
Yeah, so I was on the road of trying to get one of every English pack. Um, I made it quite a ways, so I have um, like the first half of Watsy, right? So like base, jungle. No, wait, I have everything besides jungle, which is like one of the cheaper packs, so it's kind of weird. Um, and then I have like expedition, and then I had some EX packs, EX era packs, but for those of you that know this, TCG Player, like none are listed. So I would list them for like twice what market was and they would sell. And so like I like an EX Emerald pack that sold. So like I'm working against my, yes, you did, but you sent me a first edition jungle set, Dan. Um, but yeah, so I was working towards the packs. I have black and white besides Dark Explorer. So if you have a Dark Explorers pack and you want to hook up the homie, let me know. So I have all of black and white. I obviously have like all of XY, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, I think. And when I say one of every pack, it could be in a sealed product for the most part, right? Like I have collection boxes that have like a plasma set in it, right? So like I have the pack type thing. And then I have Diamond and Pearl complete, I think, and Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So I'm pretty far. Like I'm pretty far into it, but
You have one from each set, or you have an art set of each set?
so the goal was to be one pack from
Gotcha.
each set, but some of them I have multiples. So
Gotcha.
like Call of Legends, shout out to Hills Wholesale. They were selling back in like 2021 or 2022. Everyone was going wild for everything, and people didn't realize that tins had packs in them for some reason. So there was like for $400, they had the black and white 2011 tins, and they had two Call of Legend, Supreme Victors, Triumphant, and a black and white sample pack. So the packs inside were like $600 or $700 for a $400 tin. So I would just open those tins for the packs.
Damn.
So like I did stuff like that to complete it. Like I remember on Amazon there was one seller. I actually messaged the seller to see what the code on the back of the tin was. There was like the Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur tin from XY era, but one of them had like bad Sun and Moon sets or something. I don't remember. And the other ones had Furious Fist, Flash Fire, and they were like $30, and the packs inside were like $80 worth.
Huh.
So like those are the things I did to like complete some of the eras.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking outside the box, but yeah.
Nice.
And then I will say one more thing I wanted to work on, but now it's way out of hand. I was working towards getting all the Pokemon Center Japanese boxes. So like the Yokohama, Tokyo, which I had in Chicago, that I'm finally parting with, hopefully at some point. A while back, I almost sold a bunch of my stuff to try to get all the poncho boxes.
Mm.
And it was right before, like they were already really expensive, but then I waited too long and they got out of hand. But yeah, that's like the ultimate grail. I think having like a wall of all the poncho boxes would be really, really cool.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. Mine, I've had a few. Like when I first got in, I wanted to do a binder collection of like some of the cool Japanese sets like Web and Versus series and stuff like that, and those just never really happened. But my grail, like my big, like when I'm rich, I will do this grail is buying a Japanese Team Rocket box and cracking the whole thing for myself.
Yeah, you've told me that. You told me that in Collecticon.
Yeah, 60 packs.
You open that first
Japanese
pack,
Team
you see it's
Rocket.
off center.
Yeah.
You see it's off center and realize, oh, this is gonna be a brutal box.
Yeah, this is gonna be rough. But yeah, that's one of my favorite sets. It's got my favorite card in it. It would be super cool to crack that many packs of it.
That's a really cool goal. I think that would be awesome. You would have to stream that.
Oh yeah.
I just like the enjoyment on your face. That I wouldn't even care about what you're opening, but the joy of like finally accomplishing that goal would be so cool to watch.
Yeah,
I have like
sick.
smaller goals too, but they change every day. That's why I don't really talk about them. But yeah, it's fun to work towards something, but I know people talk about like set identity, I'm sorry, collection identity and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a fan of that. I like having a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's what I get enjoyment out of. I think it's so much fun jumping from one goal to the next, and not really even having a path for my collecting. And that's why like I'm okay with letting go of some things that have appreciated because I might want to move on to something else. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I like I don't remember. I lost it. Gone. It happens. Let's see. Big Nick has a joke or not a joke, a question. What are both of your top 3 sets of all time? Top 3 sets. That's rough.
That's like an almost impossible answer. Like, because there's so many that are probably on par with each other. Like, are we talking like the top 3 sets that like mean something to us? Are we talking the top 3 sets from like art perspective? Because I feel like I could go many, many ways with this. Like Shining Legends means a lot to me because before I got back in, my wife, like in 2018, bought me a Shining Legends ETB, which she paid like $28 for. And I pulled the Mewtwo, right? So like that set always means something to me. But I don't think it's one of the best sets ever, right? So
I guess it's our top 3 sets. So which ones we would like? Mine's definitely Rocket. The first Rocket is one in the top 3. I Japanese though, because you can't get a swirl in English, I don't think, in Rocket. So Japanese Rocket, or can you in English? I'm not sure.
What'd you say?
Did the English Rocket set have the swirl hollow pattern or the boring one?
I don't know. I'm the wrong person to ask about that.
I don't think you could get a type in English Rocket like it's going to give me something other than actual space rockets. Oh yeah, you can. I think you can. So yeah, so Rocket for sure is up there. Lots of really cool cards in that set for me. Dark Charmeleon's my favorite card of all time. So that card's in there, which is great. Man, there's so many other sets.
You know, what set I think super underrated is the Gym 2 set, the Japanese set, the one that kind of combines the best cards of Gym Challenge and Gym Heroes.
Okay.
Like it has just let me go through this really quick. Blaine's Charizard, Sabrina's Gengar, Rocket's Mewtwo, Erica's Venusaur, Blaine's Moltres, Blaine's Arcanine, Giovanni's Gyarados, Rocket's Zapdos, Lieutenant Surge's Raichu, Sabrina's Alakazam, like Rocket's Snorlax. It is Rocket's Ninetales is a really sick card.
Yeah,
That set
that's sick.
definitely up there.
I think Grimer said versus, and I didn't really think of like the Japanese equivalent, but I would say I would get rid of Rocket if we were going to do that, and I would put Web, because most of the cards that I love in Rocket are in Web, but they have the cool E series border on it, and then I would put versus because I think versus is Japanese exclusive, has amazing artworks. And then stuff like Vending Series is great too.
Yeah, it's so hard. Like,
yeah, and then there's all the other sets.
I
But
feel like if I really thought about this, I would. One of the E series sets would definitely be up there for me. And when we rated E series stuff on our podcast, I kept saying like, depending on the day, I like Expedition better. I might like Skyridge better, Aquapolis, but I think something like Skyridge, something like that set would probably be up there for me. Just like
what's
art wise,
the newest set that you would even consider putting
V
into
Star
like the top
Universe.
3? V-Star
V
Universe?
Star Universe or VMAX Climax, one of the two, because there's just so many hits. And I think like the character rares and all that kind of stuff. And V Star Universe, everyone loves alt arts. And I feel like people are a little burnt out on alt arts at the current moment. But it's a set of alt arts, like
Yeah.
with Charizards, like.
Yeah, V-Star Universe is really solid.
I
Yeah.
really like. Oh man, yeah, it's probably yeah. I'm trying to think of another modern set that I would throw up there.
Just jumping in, a lot of streaming educates the buyers as far as introducing cards they've never seen for the streamer sourcing as well. It's both ways in my experience. Yeah, I think PoNGa mentioned that when he said streaming, you get to have your hands on a lot of cards that you otherwise wouldn't, especially in your situation. So yeah, that's really cool. And the fact that you can buy those cards and then either make money or hopefully break even, hopefully not lose money, and have those in your possession for however long is it is pretty cool. It is one of those things that's like, if I never got to open that Team Rocket box for myself, maybe someday I could rip the whole box like for people,
So
And
that's the one thing I didn't get to mention was like now doing this streaming thing. Like if it starts going well, like I'm sure there will be times where we rip a crazy box, right?
yeah,
And maybe we all get together, me, PK, Dan, if there's someone else on the team, like at that point, like we get together and we rip it together and like have a whole show out of it. Like that would be awesome. Like ripping something like that for someone else when it's not on your dime, I think is even better because you
yeah,
get to enjoy the cards, you get to open something crazy, and you get to pull crazy stuff for people. Like people that are paying for that stuff, one, I hope they can afford it, but two, like, yeah, it's just they could afford it, and two, like they want to be crazy and gamble. So
yeah. Could you imagine being a streamer for that Loose Packs company?
yeah, that's
They're
crazy.
like
Yeah.
constantly just posting like mid-era bangers and Watsy and like all this crazy stuff. Yeah, it's wild. It's cool though. It's cool that that exists.
I feel like I hope I want like more streamers to like open the Japanese boxes.
Red and
Like a
Blue
rock.
is, I feel like, is really the only person who like consistently
Who
opens
would you say does that?
Red or Blue YouTube. He does rips
Okay.
for, yeah, he does rips and stuff, but
Because
he
like
he
you get a hit out of
consistently
every pack
opens,
with the older
yeah,
ones.
but I think they're just hard to come by. Like those old Japanese Watsy boxes.
The EV probably just doesn't check out either. Like you'd probably have to charge, like let's say you charge 250. Yeah, it's 15 grand, 250 a pack. And I think like loose packs probably go for less than that, like on a lot of those boxes. So it kind of makes it,
Yeah.
you either overcharge or you make no money type thing.
Yeah, I think that loose packs company sells them at like 275, which is pretty high compared to like eBay. But you know what you're getting, I guess. You're getting that security with a company like that who's just constantly handling those things.
Not that long
But
ago, like this year, I think Hills Wholesale had rocket packs, Japanese rocket packs for like 2 or 220.
that's crazy. It's cool. But yeah, that is crazy. I forgot to say, but if anyone wants to hop on and chat, um call-ins are open now that we're past the hour mark. So if anyone would like to join us, just make sure that you use your username as your little tag there, which PoNGa did not, but that's okay. And that you have your camera on. If your camera's not on,
I
you
just
don't
checked
come
one
on.
thing. People in the chat, you can't hear Java talk through my mic, right? Just please let me know. So
I haven't
yeah,
been able to hear myself.
yeah, because my audio, like I said, is all messed up. I just wanted to make sure now that if someone else calls, then it doesn't get all noisy. Okay.
Yeah, grammar said correct.
Okay, cool.
Should be good. Um, when's your next? Are you done with shows till next year? Maybe.
I might be done with shows permanently.
Well, you'll go to shows, but you won't vend at them.
I don't think I'll ever vend a show that's not local.
Hmm.
Yeah, I Sealed just does so well for me. Like my two best shows, Houston and Chicago. Houston last year, like the one in November, I had the most sealed, and that's what I sold. Obviously, it's nice like getting a buyout of a binder that always helps, but I'm not one that typically has like 3 or 4 binders because I don't really grade cards, so I don't have the grading misses and all that kind of stuff to fill binders. But yeah, it makes too much sense to sell sealed items at these collect cons. You don't have to pay shipping, all that stuff. The margins are just way better when even if you're selling something for $20, like you can't sell it for that online. And I just feel like graded cards and singles, you could still, you could ship a graded card for $4, right? Um, but yeah, I'll probably only vend next year Chicago, assuming they have it, and then probably for sure be going to Charlotte and Jersey for the friendship.
Cool. That seems to
Unless
be a
unless Dan sends me to a Collecticon event for him, which I doubt is going to happen.
that seems to be a popular sentiment because I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Is that I don't want to. I might vend some of the ones that I know are going to be like bigger ones, like Chicago, for instance. But I mean Charlotte, I will because it's local. But other than that, I do think that going with a backpack and putting a box of slabs in it or something and showing up and putting some cards on a table of a homie and then just hanging out with people and walking around and buying stuff is probably the way to go. And that's not because vending is like hasn't been good for me. Like I had a really good show on in Chicago and a really good show in Raleigh or Charlotte, but it just I don't know, I feel like I'm missing out because now like half the homies don't want to vend anymore because they're sourcing for streams and stuff. And then you're like, oh, you're missing a lunch or something, and you're standing at a table selling, and it's good to sell, but it's like this whole like back and forth thing on like, I don't know, the FOMO. It's a push and pull of FOMO basically on what I want to do and what I don't want to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think vending's super fun. Like I rather be standing at the table than walking around personally.
I enjoy vending too.
Um so I don't know. I probably will flip-flop by the time it comes next year, but um I just like I don't grade anymore. So like I have to buy already graded cards. I haven't sold graded cards that well at most of the collecticons this year, even when they're liquid alt arts. So like that tends to be a lot of the inventory. And like since I haven't been grading, I don't buy a ton of singles. And I'm sure I could buy collections and flip singles and all that kind of stuff and make money, but it's more like an inventory thing for me. Like the first couple shows I went to was stuff I already had, right? Like I didn't source. Now it's like, a week before the Chicago and I can't even fill my binder because I don't source any cards. So like,
Yeah.
um, now that I'm streaming, like that is my side income. So I don't really have the time or really want to do the flipping game if I don't have to type thing. Like if I could just make money and have fun streaming, like I don't really feel like I'd have to make money elsewhere.
Did you used to do the grading and everything, like buying raw cards, grading, flipping, all that stuff?
Yeah, I didn't do it as much as like someone like you. But like yeah, I graded up until November last year and then I just didn't redo my PSA membership or re-up it. I just feel like that's like one of the only parts of Pokemon I don't enjoy. Like I don't enjoy grading cards.
Hmm.
Um, I don't enjoy listing cards on eBay, which you have to do obviously. Um, and like I don't like risk either. So like I hate buying cards from Japanese websites and there being a dent in it, and then you know having that feeling like you got duped. It doesn't happen all that much to me because how much I try to avoid, like even if there's like the sketch, like if there's not like the cleanest picture, I just ignore it. But then I'd like tried the game of like buying already graded cards from other places, and that did pretty well for a while, but that kind of has gone away for a lot of cards.
Yeah.
Um, so
Especially
yeah, to
with
answer your question, I used
eBay
to
Vault
grade.
not being a thing, but
What was that?
especially with eBay Vault not really being a thing where it was zero fees for a while and
Well, even after that, like earlier this year, like you could source PSA 10 Japanese cards for cheaper than you could buy the single and grade them on certain stuff.
mm,
So it made sense to just buy the card if you were doing volume.
yeah.
But yeah, I can't say I'll never do it again. And like I might get back into it. Like if I go to a show and don't vend, like I want to offset the cost somewhat somehow. And so I might try to source cards and grade. Um,
Well, now you have somewhat of a reliable off ramp for grading misses as well, because I'm sure you could. Do you have like if you said like Dan, Thursday night I have 100 singles in my own inventory that I want to get rid of, um, is that like a thing? Are you strictly auctioning Dan's stuff right now, or
so I only want to auction Dan stuff.
that makes sense?
I think most stuff does pretty well. But it's the risk thing, right? Like, do I want to risk getting 50% for something when I might be able to sell it to Dan for 70%? And he might be able to make an extra 10, 15%. And I make money selling the item as well, right? So that like offsets the difference. So, um, I mean, that's part of it, Dan, but like, I don't know. Like, we just started. So, like, he Dan has a lot of good stuff and variety. So I think it'd be one of those cases like maybe in the future we could figure it out where like I could do a half of a stream and half a stream mine and then I just keep track of what I sell. Um but right now like I don't really have the inventory to do a full stream without selling sealed stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because like most of my singles go to shows and binders print at shows a lot of times, so I don't really come home with that much stuff to auction. But yeah, in theory I could probably liquid singles, right? Like if I were to buy a bunch of those Pikachus for $100, like yeah, I might be able to offload them for 70-80 bucks at the worst, right? Maybe, I would hope. So yeah, that's definitely a play to get the instant liquidity.
Yeah, it's been It's been interesting helping Chef with like the sourcing thing. I feel like I'm stuck between like I really like sourcing, I really like grading, I really like all of that, but I also think it would be fun to stream because I see like cards that are just sitting in boxes here go
Yeah.
for like twice as much as they do on eBay, or like trying to sell bin on eBay or TCG Player or something, and I'm just like, man, if I like, but I don't have the time to like do that much sourcing on top of that stream, on top of that make videos, on top of that, like it starts to just become way too much. But
There's a reason why Dan wants to source and not stream, right? Like,
yeah,
if that's the side you find fun, then you should stick with it, right? Like, you could source stuff for a streamer like you are, right? And probably make something, have fun, offset your costs on what you're sourcing, right? Because I'm sure you keep some stuff that you're also shipping with it. So it's like, if that's the part of the game you enjoy and you could still supply a stream or sell, I don't know, 50 singles to someone like Dan or Chef, like grading misses or something, then yeah, it's hard. Like streaming, especially when you're not as optimized as you could be, takes time, effort, thought. Like it takes time to go through a stack of singles and say, okay, well, I auctioned this one my last stream, so I don't know if I want to do it again because maybe the person that wants that card already bought it. And you have to like go through your singles and try to figure out like what people might want. It's a lot of time, at least currently.
yeah. Well, we have another friend joining, Legend of
no.
Luke.
Lukey boy.
Luke.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Check out Luke on Whatnot.
Whatnot or Drip or Whatnot? Where you at nowadays?
Mostly Whatnot. Yeah.
Mostly Whatnot. Nice.
Yeah, I tried Drip a little bit. Has some positives, but it's you just can't compare to the back end of Whatnot and all the stuff. So
How's the streaming been for you getting into it and get started and stuff?
not bad. I feel like I was going really strong for a couple weeks, or maybe like 2 months there. Then there was the 1 week that I feel like they had a bunch of releases like the Paradise Dragona. What was the other one that came out? Stellar Crown, and then there was also a One Piece set. They all came out like the same day, basically. And so I'm like, oh man, I gotta capitalize on all these and try and do a stream for all of them. So I did like 4 streams in a week, and it kind of killed me. So I've kind of stepped back a little bit. But it's still going good. I'm still trying to at least do once a week, once every other week at the least.
So you're doing mostly rips?
Yeah, I would say the majority of it is. That seems to be what people like the most. But I've done some single streams for sure.
Okay, interesting. I saw you posted today the vendor POV video.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Guys,
As you know, it takes forever to make.
Wait,
God,
wait, you both have done vendor POV now. Like, did you enjoy the process of filming it? I know Java, I haven't watched Luke's yet. It's on my feed to watch. Like Java, during the event, I saw you doing like some narration on what was happening. And then like the whole process of putting the video together, like making sure it kind of flowed, cut out like make sure the good parts are included, cutting out the kind of fluff. How was that whole process on putting that together for both of you?
Well, I had a trick that I tried to employ during the event, which was hitting the microphone after I had a good sale so that it would spike in the audio waveform. And then I went to search for the spikes, and the spikes weren't loud enough. So it did not help at all, unfortunately. So I did have to go through, it was like 16 hours of footage because it was 2 8-hour days or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The only thing I really have to keep in mind with my camera is it only records for like an hour, and then you have to hit the record button again because it's a DSLR and it does whatever it does. So I just have to keep an eye on that. So some of the transactions I would say like, hey, do you mind if I do my little YouTube thing? And they'd be like, yeah, okay. And then I go up to the camera and I do, okay, we're selling these cards to this person for this amount. And then, but there was some where it was like people would just walk up by and leave. So then after the fact, I'd be like, we just sold that person, this card, and then I'd put it up on screen and do that. So I'm getting more used to it. I think I am still trying to figure out like a good flow for everything, but I don't know. I think it's fun. Once you set it up and you have all your settings and everything, you just put it up and let it run, and hopefully you get good stuff out of it. But what do you think, Luke?
Yeah, it's definitely like double the work. It's a little more involved. I'm sure. Yeah, kind of like you said, you probably get the hang of it like the more you do it. But the first time I did it, and I kind of just released like a little like spoof short from it. The first time I tried to do it, like it wasn't recording from my main mic the entire time. So I just felt like I was like really rushed trying to get set up for that event, and then I felt like I probably didn't have enough time to like make sure all the audio video stuff was working. So it's definitely an extra step for sure. I feel like the technical side is still something I'm trying to figure out, and I'll probably have to ask you some more questions, Java, later on what you've been doing. But yeah, like my mics, like certain parts of it you have to like charge after a while. Same with the camera, like you gotta like swap out batteries like multiple times. I think for this most recent one, I pretty much went through all three of my batteries, and so I wasn't kind of recording continuously. Like it sounds like that's what you were doing, Java.
Yeah, so I bought a camping battery, like one of those. You just charge it up, and then it holds a charge, and it has a plug for like a DC in. And then I have like a dummy battery that goes to my DSLR, so it just is powered and stays on the whole time, which I'm sure would be a lot easier than swapping out multiple batteries. The big thing that I've run into is you never know where you're going to be like put in the situation. So you said you showed up a little bit late and you had to set up outside the hallway, but that was probably good for you because it was probably less loud. You were a table that people saw when they first came in. So that was probably pretty good. At my recent local show, I got set up next to this like blow up thing where people would go inside and they'd try to grab all like the money that was flying around them, and then but they kept it on the whole time, so it was like a leaf blower next to me the entire show, and I didn't get any footage out of it because it was just too loud. Like there was no way. So it's like it's hit or miss if you're not Bulbasaur and can probably better pick where you want to go, and people know you and what you're trying to do and stuff like that. But it's fun. I like it. So
yeah, it's fun. I mean, for my channel, honestly, the whole point of it has really just been documenting kind of whatever I'm doing in the hobby. And so I just kind of take the same approach. I'm like, I'm going to do this, might as well try and get some content out of it. And I don't know, I still enjoy that aspect of it. I enjoy like the video making process. And then to your point earlier, like it definitely is kind of like you said, like you try to make it as natural as possible. You don't want to like make it contrived or anything like that. I think there's a little bit of leeway there to where you can be kind of like you said, you can just be like, hey, do you mind if I just record this real quick? And I think that's fine. But it is kind of funny how many times going back and watching the footage, like I kind of forgot that I was recording during this time. I'm like, oh, so this is how I am in real life when I'm not actually just trying to say something to the camera. So that part's been funny.
Yeah, it's weird watching back 16 hours of you just
and my back.
Yeah, and PoNGa's back. I was literally sitting in a chair for like 2 hours that first day of pricing stuff. So there was nothing happening for a large portion of the first day in Chicago. But
make sure to go check out 1 minute and 33 seconds in on your video. It's one of the best clips on the internet.
Yeah, PoNGa was the star of the video for that that section. 12 hours of chef digging in his book bag. Yeah, exactly. So you've been streaming and you've been doing your regular, I feel like you upped the amount of videos you've been trying to put out. Is that true? Like since maybe Card Party, I feel like you've been doing like, I don't know, like 3 videos a week or something around there, like pretty consistent with lots of stuff coming out.
Honestly, I feel like it's probably even less. I think it just seems that way because I'm doing the streams on top of it.
Oh, maybe.
But that's kind of nice because it kind of allows me to put out more without having to do as much effort because I don't go back and edit those or anything like that.
How have you felt doing that? Because I know Dan was very much like, I don't want to kind of dual stream the selling on my YouTube because I'm not sure that my YouTube people will care about like the selling portion of it, and I don't want to like piss off the YouTube subscribers with the content that they don't want to watch, and kind of just like flood feeds with just kind of like the selling on fanatics. How I personally, if I were to start streaming, I would absolutely stream it to my YouTube just like you're doing. But how do you feel like that? Do you see a lot of crossover between your YouTube people going to your whatnot and then participating in the streams there?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I mean, I think Dan is probably right with his approach because his audience is people who want to have a Pokemon card business mostly. It's not quite, but whereas my audience is people who are, call them the casuals or whatever, people who enjoy opening product or just doing binder sets, that sort of thing. So I think it does depend there, but it definitely has helped mine. I feel like my whatnot presence, I haven't even really seen it grow significantly since I've been doing it a lot. I feel like a lot of the traffic has come from YouTube, or at the very least, people who I've told, because I've talked about whatnot on my channel for a while. So some people that I've like promoted whatnot to, they'll maybe see me in their feed and then they'll hop in that way. So I definitely feel like it's helped to do the dual streaming. So without that, I don't know if it would be as good as it's been so far.
Gotcha. So you feel like a lot of your growth is coming from YouTube and not necessarily through whatnot at this point.
Yeah, I want to say maybe like 75% of it is probably coming from my existing audience, I would think.
Okay. And how many days a week are you streaming right now, or doing the streams on whatnot?
Like I said, I've kind of taken a little bit of a step back since a couple weeks ago, but I'm trying to do at least once a week at this point. I think that's going to be more manageable for me, but I don't know. It's tough because like I said, I kind of burnt myself out the 1 week. It's like part of me is like, do I need to try and do what everybody else is doing, get some other people streaming on my whatnot? I'm not sure because I do have to do it more often to make it more sustainable. But
yeah, that's the thing. I feel like with the platforms where there isn't really a like an advantage to being there early, like whatnot, where you're jumping into like a pool of people that have been there for years now. I feel like it would definitely be kind of like jumping into like wanting to be a Twitch streamer nowadays. It's like impossible because there's like millions of people who turn their stream on every week. So it's like, it's got to be difficult to figure out how to grow on a platform that's so saturated. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. How do you stand out? How do you do something different? Like there's a lot of limitation on things you can do that could potentially be different, that it's like, I think it's just really hard to stand out, right? Like people just like what they like on those platforms. And like Java said, it's like going on Twitch now, like good luck getting discovered unless you're doing something crazy. Yeah, there's just so much competition on whatnot that I think it's like the platform side of things, like it's probably the smoothest. I shouldn't say probably, it definitely is the smoothest.
I would think
but
so.
yeah, the people that are on there, the big guys that like, they've been on there for years, and like I'd imagine those people like only watch those streams. And if one of them aren't live, then maybe you might get the trickle in. But I think, like you said, Luke, consistency which is probably hard for you, right? Like you don't want to stream 4 days a week, right? Like it's a lot of work. You got to source it, you got to pack it, you got to ship it. So yeah, it's how do you balance being that consistent person on the platform and getting that steady growth, and then how do you balance like not getting burnt out at the same time? It's the tough game for sure.
Yeah, that's the big thing for Chef is Chef wants to go from 1 day to 2 days. And he's already like, how am I going to source for an extra day? And I'm sitting there too. Like, how are you going to source for an extra day? Because an extra day is 80 to 100 auctions.
Like, yeah, it's like the capital too that gets tied up, right? Like,
yeah,
especially like with Chef, like with eBay, like they have several days to pay. So like
4 days, just like any other auction. That's
so you might like
stupid.
if you stream on like a Wednesday, like you might not ship that till like the following Monday or Tuesday, whatever. So it's like,
really?
It's like, you know, the card, you put the capital into it, then you don't know if it's going to be paid for. Some people wait till the last second, and then you have to wait for them to actually release the funds to you. So it's like sourcing for a whole nother day of a stream. Like if you don't have the backlog built up is probably a nightmare.
Yeah, eBay just took their regular auction format and just put it in like 10-second live streams and thought that would work. And yeah, there's definitely frustrations. Like Chef had me ship out some things before Chicago because they didn't pay until last minute. So he dropped boxes off at my place, went to Chicago, was emailing me like the printing labels, and then I would bring them up to because he wasn't going to be home. Otherwise he was going to miss his shipping days. Which is just crazy to me that they don't do the auto pay, but they say it's coming, but no idea when. It's already been years that platform's been up, right? And Whatnot's always had, I think, the auto pay integrated. So
yeah, it's like it's so nice. Like even like Fanatics has it too, right? Like you auction something and you know right away if their card gets declined, and if not, like it's paid for. Like you could ship it right after stream if you want to. Or if payment gets rejected, you could just run it again right away. You don't have to wait till next week's stream to run that same thing. So it's absolutely crazy that eBay allows that, but it is what it is, I guess.
On Whatnot, can you add like more auctions on the fly?
Yep.
So you can just add more, because I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think Chef has to set up the number of auctions he's going to do beforehand, and he can't add any like later on. So like that stream's going to have 82 auctions and that's it. Or else I don't know if he has to create a new stream or something. Like eBay is just incredibly, the tech is so archaic to the live streaming like platform. It's rough.
Yeah, so then it sounds like the prep for it is like probably even more, maybe not more time, but a little bit more like involved. Like you got to make sure everything is right before you hit play or go live. I mean, it's that's another thing I think people don't think about. There's still a good bit of prep that goes into these streams. Like you don't have to set up the auctions ahead of time, but it definitely helps you keep things moving if you have stuff already in your buy now, already in your auctions, and that takes, I don't know, a couple, maybe like an hour before you go live, or I don't know, just and then what you're doing,
and then the shipping afterward
stuff. Yeah, like, exactly.
The one thing I really like about Fanatics, and I assume it's similar with Whatnot, is like you could save templates, right, for your listing. And so we have a template, right? It's 1 to 500 auctions. And so in that one listing, I could run 500 auctions. So it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 500. I'm never going to run well, I shouldn't say never. Most likely not going to run 500 auctions, right? And let's say I did run 500 auctions. There's just a plus sign during the live that I click on, and you could copy the listing and then just put a 2 after it. So then when you go to ship stuff, it'll show the listing title as the one without the 2 and one with the 2 because like on the back end automatically combines people's orders. So it's like super easy to add stuff on the fly. Like I always mention, hey, I have these 10 buy it now listings for all these sets. If you don't see a set you want to open, just let me know. And it takes 20 seconds to throw up the listing. So that's really nice.
Yeah,
it is. So PoNGa, what's your schedule? Like, are you consistent per week, or what's the plan so far?
Yeah, so I was saying it earlier. With Chicago CollectCon, I did my first stream the Saturday before, so I like took a whole week and a half off basically. But yeah, so far it's looking like for sure Thursday nights. I would want to start a little later than I am, but I like watching some football on Thursday. So currently 5:30 Central on Thursdays, which last week's Thursday stream did pretty well, so I was happy with that. And then I'm probably going to want to do one other day. I haven't decided what I want to do with that. Last week I did a Saturday day stream, and it's one data point, but it was a little dark on some stuff. The viewership was like way less than normal as well, which probably has some impact. Obviously, you don't need to get top dollar out of everything, but it's a lot more fun when there's more engagement and people are wanting to open packs. So yeah, that second day is kind of undecided, but doesn't matter because when I don't go live, PK is live. So we kind of got it covered. He's doing like, I don't know, 5-6 streams a week or whatever he's doing, which is crazy.
Whoa,
but
that's crazy.
we just need Dan to hire me full time. Then I could go live 8 hours a day, but who knows about that?
Come on, Dan.
Do you know, PoNGa, since Ray has started and since Beerski has started on there, have they done a stream not doing the giveaways?
Yeah, so that's a hot topic, I think. I don't
Because
think so.
that's what I'm curious about, because I used to do giveaways on Twitch and it was like everyone would follow, I'd get a bunch of follows, everyone would be there for the stream, and then once the giveaway happened, or if it didn't happen, then I'd never see those people again. They were only there as long as it was something that they could get.
I think it's hard to balance, right? Because a lot of the big guys also do giveaways. So it brings viewership, right?
Yeah.
I think the more important thing is what does the data say? Like what percentage of the viewers are actually purchasing things? And I think that's where you get into trouble. So like if you have 50 viewers and only 5 people are buying things, like it could still be pretty dark. So I feel like it's good to inflate followers and viewership, but unless that's translated into sales, it doesn't really matter all that much.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Now I do think it can help, right? Like you'll definitely transition to some people who are like, oh, this guy's doing giveaways. Let me hop in there and see what they're giving away. And someone like Ray's giving away like 151 packs or something, or EV Heroes packs, right? He was giving away those. Like, yeah, hey, maybe they find out they actually like you, right? And now you're their primary streamer they watch. So I'm sure there's some cases of that, but I'd imagine that there's not a high percentage of people that actually translate to buying.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'm still trying to figure this out too. I've done streams with a lot of giveaways. I've done them without. And it definitely still, like you said, is those 5 or 6 people who are buying. I guess lately I've been trying to think of it from how I've approached going into streams, and I'm not sure how it is like on Fanatics, how their giveaway function works, but so on Whatnot, like it'll basically count down for 5 minutes maximum. So you and you don't see the countdown either. So like if you just hop in a stream, you're just browsing through, you hop in, see they're running a giveaway, like, hey, why not at least try and get free shipping if they have anything for sale that I want. And so you kind of just like are sticking around waiting for this thing to run. You're like, okay, it could be in the next 30 seconds. I hope it's in the next 30 seconds so I don't have to stick around too much longer. But it also could be 5 minutes that you're waiting. And so I feel like for me, it does kind of keep me around longer in a stream. Now, am I necessarily going to buy from them? Probably not, unless they just happen to run the right card, or again, if I do win the giveaway, I'll get free shipping, that I might be more likely to. But yeah, I feel like it is probably good for viewership, but it's also a lot of extra work. Like I just did a 2 streams in one day. It's the first time I did that, and I did giveaways the whole time. So it was like a lot of extra work to pack up those giveaway orders.
Well, yeah, and a lot of those people a lot of those people may not actually be buying a lot too, so they're probably individual, like another individual package that you have to
Exactly.
send out.
Most of them were like that. Yeah.
That's a free, it's costing out. Yeah, I wonder how much time it actually costs, like Beerski or Ray, after to pack up all of just the giveaway orders and not even the actual purchases that happen during the live, because
I think like
that's gotta increase the shipping time quite a
I,
bit.
I think for like longer streams, it probably affects it a little more. But like if it's like an extra 10 or 15 PWEs, right, where it's just a pack or something, you could probably do it pretty quick. Maybe 10 minutes or something, right? Like probably
Yeah.
less than that, to be honest. But if you're giving something away every 5 minutes for 4 hours, now you're talking about 40, 50 packages, right? So
Yeah. I think he said it at Rusty's when we were there, but Ray had mentioned that like a 4-hour stream is like 4 hours of packaging afterward. And I was like, that seemed crazy to me. But like, if you're doing that many like giveaways and stuff and separate packages and orders during like a 4-hour that's a fairly long stream. Maybe they've knocked that down now because that was pretty early on, but
yeah, I'd say if you're like selling a bunch of random size stuff, it definitely takes a while. Like I know the first stream I ran, because I sold so much buy it now sealed stuff, like I mentioned earlier, like I just wasn't set up with the right size boxes for everything. And so it took me like double the time, right? Like I had a 4.5 hour stream. I think it took me 4 hours to package just because it was so much random stuff. Like when someone buys a Japanese box, 4 slabs, 5 singles, rips 10 packs, like how do you put it together? But now like I did, I think a 2.5 or 3 hour stream and it took me like 45-ish minutes, 50 minutes, but it was mostly singles and slabs. So it's like, every order has 5 or 10 cards in it. So the bulk of the time is every order, every auction, I just write on the PSA sleeve, right? So I have to sift through the box number 1, number 10, number 15. So most of the time, just pulling the orders. And then you just double bubble it. Or if it's like 10 slabs, like I'm just going to put it in 2 bubble mailers and throw it in a box, right?
no.
So once you kind of get all that stuff figured out, I think it speeds up and makes it more worth your time. But at first, it's pretty dark if you don't know how, like you don't think about what you're gonna do. And
Yeah.
with Fanatics, we record ourselves packing as well, so it's like another thing to think about the entire time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah,
required to do that?
they have a security camera on them when they stream, and then they have to
So
record their packing.
when we're
No
streaming, there's
way.
a camera off to the side that records our desk in case something comes off screen and someone complains. That Fanatics records on their end. The viewer can't see it, but Fanatics records it. And then when we package, we have to also film ourselves packaging. So
Wow.
Fanatics cares. Fanatics wants to make sure nothing happens.
I have to throw out here that Evil Catch 'em All Collectibles is here. For some reason, they have Z&G in their profile picture. That's not Dan, but
I think James just
we'll take
changed
it.
his name and forgot to change the picture.
And then Dan said Evil Me is here. How's it going, Jeff? Welcome. Yeah, this has been really interesting. It's interesting, just that it's something that seems to be spreading like wildfire, this streaming, and everyone getting into it, wanting to get into it. And I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. I part of me doesn't even know how it exists. Like I don't know how Chef can throw a $2 card up for auction and it goes for $11. Like I just don't even know how that happens
So
regularly.
yeah, that might be. I don't think that's that common. Um,
I
I
mean,
don't
it
see that
happens
in.
like every stream.
But yeah, I'm saying I don't see that in my streams. I know Ray's streams don't see that happen. So I think that might be an eBay Live thing and big streamer thing.
Maybe.
Because I was just talking to Ray about this, like how these $1 or $2 AR cards on these big streams on whatnot sell for $9, $10 over and over and over. but like he can't even get like $1 for some of them.
I
So
don't have it in front of me.
yeah,
You know, I think I have one over here. Hold on.
I also think like cheap cards that are like cards people wouldn't know the value of, right? Like something random might do better, but like I don't think I'd ever be able to put like a $1 AR on Fanatics, at least currently, and ever sell it for more than like $2 or $3 at most.
So
I don't think I've seen that happen.
have you guys seen this card?
Yeah, like that would sell for like $3 on Fanatics.
Chef has sold multiple of these at over $30.
Yeah, that's just
And I bought
it's 'cause people don't know what it
50 of
is.
them at $2 a piece recently. It's
Dan,
ridiculous.
Dan, we still got the eBay Live contact or what? Because
it's actually like, I mean, it's ridiculously good, obviously, but like I just sometimes I just look at it and I'm like, how does that even exist? How does that happen? Like, I don't. It's
I'm trying to.
I don't know.
I'm trying to see if
gotta
I have
check out one
something
of Chef's
around me.
streams. I got things to learn from him.
Chef does a really good job. I think he's just a natural at the hospitality side of things. But something him and Nick do super well is build an engaged community. Yeah, true. I think it takes time though. It takes time for you to like. I think Chef is in streams constantly, so he even knows the people from Nick's stream, from Weedo's stream, because he's constantly in those streams too. So I think it takes time for you to build up that relationship with the people who are constantly coming in and that recognition and understanding what what they want, what people like, all that stuff. But
Yeah, see, like that was like the complete opposite of what I wanted to do. Like I didn't really watch streams because I think Bierski said it too. Like I want to eventually, like I know there's a ton of improvements I could make and all that kind of stuff, but like I want to figure it out on my own kind of thing and like what I enjoy doing, because I feel like if people could tell I'm enjoying it, like it's one of those things like, oh, the streamer's having fun, like I'm having fun also. Like I don't want to like fake a show type thing. I'm not saying Chef does that. That's not what I'm saying. But like it's more of like I don't want to
you want to be natural,
someone else, right?
Natural and entertaining in your own way and garner an
Yeah.
audience that
And like Nick said it on Pokey Flips, right? Like one of my benefits would be like I could relate to people. And so like if I'm mimicking someone else's style because they do it really well, like I can't be Nick, right? I can't be Chef. Like they are one-off people that are super entertaining, just being like their hospitality side. Nick with his $1. I just want to be PoNGa, and
yeah.
hopefully that works out, right? And I think it's been going well so far, but yeah, I didn't want to like copy streams and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like even if I watch streams, I wouldn't, even if I didn't mindfully like copy people, like it would still be in my head, like, hey, this is the right way to do it type thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
absolutely, Chef. That's I think the key, being yourself and doing it the right way.
Definitely. Pro tip: buy Lugia staff promos. That was insane. And wonder about it.
Grimer. I picked out a card for you. You gonna be in stream tomorrow? Hold on, let me find it real quick. I picked it out just for you.
Oh, vending.
Nice.
You gonna be there tomorrow or what?
Vending Grimer, get on that.
Come on, Grimy. I got you. Sneak peek. I'll pay double market. All right,
There you go.
I don't even know what market on it is, because who cares what it sells for? It's Dan's card. I don't care what it sells for.
Oh man.
Oh no. I'm about to drop all my cards and dent them for tomorrow. Hold on. All right, we're good.
So,
PoNGa,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, you go.
I was just gonna ask, are you doing all dollar starts for your stuff? Have you tried
anything?
One or the other? Like, are you just done dollar starts?
Wait, what did you ask?
Like, have you done like a start price for anything, or is it all just $1 starts? Okay.
It's $1 no matter what. Like I mean, I haven't done anything super crazy, but like Dan and PK on the first stream were auctioning Evolving Skies boxes for $1, right? I did like stamp Pikachu's and 10s for $1. So it's like, you know, Dan talked about it a lot where it's like you would hope that the people we know that flip stuff would at least hold you to some percentage of what market is. But I said it the other day, like I sold or I think I might have said it to Java, maybe off stream or during stream. I sold a $110 card for $31 the other day. It is what it is. That's what makes it fun, right? Like sometimes you're going to get more than market, sometimes it's going to go bad. But
Yeah, that's a way better situation when you're auctioning someone else's cards.
Yeah, exactly.
I would probably not auction anything after that. I'd be like, all right, we're shutting it down today. I'll be there tomorrow.
Well, you have to be mindful, right? Like, I can't lie. I don't know the value of every single thing I auction.
Yeah.
And I don't know the buy price, right? For the most part, unless I ask. And so if I'm auctioning a card that's $200 and it gets $50, like I probably shouldn't run that kind of card again, right?
Yeah.
But like, for example, in this case, I ran a Stained Glass Birds PSA 10 and I think market's like $80 and it sold for 85. So I was like, oh, clearly these people want like more expensive cards. So then you run the next one and it goes poorly. I didn't run another one, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I could be your bottom. That's but yeah, to answer your question, Luke, I think people like $1 starts. Unless it's like something crazy, right? Like if I'm auctioning a $3,000 item and it was my own, I probably want to start at $1, but I feel like people are more engaged when they're like, oh my God, I have a chance to buy it type thing.
Yeah.
And if you start at like a $200 card at $150, like I probably wouldn't even bid on it type thing.
Yeah, it was one thing. I've only done 2 Whatnot streams, and it was a long time ago where they were like, you had to go through the whole initiation process of Whatnot on the call and blah, 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 and do all that shit. It was a few years ago when Brilliant Stars first came out, because I did rips for Brilliant Stars cases. And the first one, I started all the packs at $1. And I pretty much like broke even, I think. Like some packs went for $3, some packs went for $20. But at the end of the day, I think like it basically came out even. The next one, I was like, okay, well, people are willing to spend an average of, you know, like $4 a pack, like pretty retail. Let me start my auctions at $4 a pack. And then guess what? Everybody came in and was like, what is this? They're supposed to be $1. Didn't you start at $1 last time? And then I didn't sell a single pack for like half an hour. And then I was like, okay, that is not how you do this. Like, you don't auction them where you want them to end, because that just doesn't, you know, that doesn't fly. People were not happy with that.
I think you can, like, I know Luke, I hopped in on your Whatnot stream. You're doing like $20 starts or something, but like every $5 you added a pack. So like there was a benefit to bidding on it still type thing. So at least you like tried to do something there. And I know like Ray's stream, I don't know if they still do it, but they tend to do like, they'll open a 151 box and auction like 5 packs and it starts at a certain price, right? So some might be pretty dark and end at that first starting price, but then, hey, if the last 5 packs is up, you might get $40 instead of $20 type thing. But yeah, I don't know. Like you said, I think I don't care because it's not my product. That's like part of the reason I wanted to stream for Dan was there's no risk to me. There's only upside to me, really. All I have to do is be entertaining, be relatable, and put a good stream together, like single slab and sealed product wise. And then ship it out timely. I don't have to put the capital up front. I don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. So
fair enough.
I think I would be afraid to start, like if I was a stream and had 15 people in there, like I would be absolutely terrified to start stuff at $1 because it could get dark very, very fast.
Hey, well, that's where I'm at right now. Like I really have had a reserve for pretty much all my stuff, kind of like you said, even for the packs and stuff. So yeah, I just don't know what would happen because you know your numbers, you know what you bought that for, and you're like, yeah, like I know people, that's what they want. Yeah, they want to get the deal. And I'm sure I know that there's the potential that they could bid it up, but I don't know.
I would hope that so
Dan
I
said you
think
gotta
the
believe.
one thing that's not talked about enough is like a lot of streamers lose a lot of money for a long time. Or they don't make very much for the amount of work.
Yep.
Especially when you're trying to build. And so it's like, you have to have either a huge bankroll to have that amount of money that you could lose or possibly lose, like, just being able to be dark over and over and over type situation. And the other part of it, like, I don't know that people think about is like, if I was a person that watched a lot of streams and I got a super good deal for someone, that would make me want to continue watching their stream. And like sometimes like, hey, this is a cool card. I'm gonna buy it anyways. I'm gonna pay market for it and bid against this person type thing. And like kind of support the other way, right? And as long as like while you're streaming, you're like, oh man, that sold for $30. Like you got too good of a deal. I can't believe this. And you're like happy for the person, like because like I said, I sold that $100 card or whatever, $30, and I was like super happy because it went to a guy that like is in my stream every single time, talks the whole time, and like he got a deal, he hit a lick. But
Yeah, that is cool, because if I were like, I did the Brilliant Stars rip, and we pulled the Charizard in a $3 pack, and it's like, while that was cool, and I was hyped for that person, there was a part of me in the back of my head like, damn it, why didn't I just open this myself? Why am I doing this? I'm not even gonna make money. I'm gonna break even. I could have, X, Y, and Z. But when it's not your stuff and you're just there to have fun and be entertaining and be the streamer, you can be more excited. You can feel better about things that potentially can go wrong, But
yeah, I just think like
obviously
people,
you're still mindful, and you make sure that you don't, just auction stuff that shouldn't be auctioned at that time. Like you're still paying attention and doing stuff like that. But
and I just think people like Luke, Chef, the people that are doing it on their own. Well, I shouldn't say like Chef is obviously you're helping him, but the people that have to source, do the streaming, plan the stream, package and ship all by themselves, they need more credit. Like it's not this endless money machine printing like endless amounts of cash. Like it's a lot of work for probably very little return, at least initially. With the hope that you build a community that supports you and that you enjoy and they enjoy you, and eventually maybe you start printing and that's a benefit, but you have to really love it, I think, if you're doing all that work on your own. Otherwise, I think that people that don't love it will realize that it's a lot of work and it's not really worth their time and probably drop off. But we have a lot of people streaming in our space right now, so I guess 6 months from now, a year from now, we'll find out the people that actually like doing it. And hopefully, I mean, I think there's space for most of the people that are streaming, right? Like, I know I was super worried my first stream because Nick had his return stream on eBay Live the same time, but like we both held really good viewership. So every streamer has their own people that watch them. They have their own platform. But yeah, it's a ton of work to do it all.
yeah,
Especially when you work like a full-time job as well. It's a lot.
yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. I would run out of stuff fast and then be like, well, I'll be back in a month.
I do have a question for Luke. You haven't done an Anakin card, right?
I've done some for tops, but not like a personalized one, if that's what you mean. But
No, yeah. So wait, is there like a sketch card that's in a top set that's Anakin that you did?
yeah, there's
Wait, has it been on the market?
I don't think I've seen it out there yet.
Oh, I need that. That's the one I'm buying, and then I'm having you sign it.
Well, it's already signed on the back, but
Well, yeah, but I want it right across his face, big letter.
just to
You
face
can't-
it completely.
You
So.
can't ruin the artwork.
Anakin's the best Star Wars character, and I would love to have that. I need that. If you ever see that hit the market, it might be against your terms or whatever that you got to let me know somehow. I need a bid on that. Someone's going to auction that.
Did you
Yeah.
just say Anakin's the
Will
best
do.
Star Wars character?
Yeah, and it's not even remotely close.
Have you watched the prequels?
Yes, I have.
Okay, just want to make sure. Just want to get all the
There's definitely
context there.
been a resurgence of prequel lovers, I feel like, in the last couple of years.
He was really good when he came back for Ahsoka. That was
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
those scenes with him and her were really solid.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen, I feel like he did an okay job as an actor, but I do love the character overall.
Hey, like he may or may not have killed a bunch of kids. Like I didn't see it. So I don't. It's hearsay, I guess. And he might turn into a villain. Spoiler alert, I guess. But he might be like the most popular villain in Star Wars, right? Like,
oh yeah.
And like you can't really argue. Like he was kind of like the strongest Jedi, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's true. He was the chosen one.
It's not his fault he lost the love of his life.
It's not his fault that George Lucas wrote his lines. George Lucas cannot write dialogue to save his life.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. He's the best character.
All right, I gotta ask. I feel like we've asked this on the last couple. What's the last movie you watched that you liked?
Like in theaters or like at home?
Just any movie. At home, in theaters, doesn't matter.
I don't think I ever like hate a movie.
Well, one that you walked away, it was like, damn, that was good.
Oh God. Oh, this might take a while. I don't even know. What are new movies? I don't even know. Luke, do you have an answer?
I mean, there's definitely some that I've liked, I've enjoyed, but to the point that you said, damn, it's good. I don't know. That seems more like a great level sort of movie.
I can't even remember recent movies I watched.
I watched the Rebel Moon movies recently. Have you seen those?
I saw the first one. I didn't watch the second one.
I've never even.
I liked them, but I don't know if I would say they were great.
I need to look at this.
I mean, I'm watching the Lord of the Rings show, the Rings of Power show. I mean, it doesn't count; it's not a movie. But
I thought season 2 was actually solid.
Yeah, I'm not all the way through season 2, but I really actually like that show. I feel like
I do too.
I put off watching it for the longest time. I don't know why, because I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. But I feel like I saw a lot of people being negative about it online. But I'm like,
yeah, it gets a lot of
honestly,
hate.
I might even like it better than like the Hobbit trilogy.
Oh, you know what movies I really liked I saw recently?
What?
The Wreck-It Ralph movies, both of them.
Okay. Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph is good. Yeah.
So it was probably a couple months ago. I never saw either of them, and I always wanted to, but I finally watched both of them back to back, and they were very, very good movies.
Yeah, it's a cool concept. Like we only have like a number of movies like saved on my iPad, so like whenever we go on trips, like that's like one of them. So like I feel like I hear it in the background every single trip. So
and like obviously like the Eras Tour movie, Taylor Swift, that's the best movie of all time. So it's technically a movie.
Dan will be happy to hear that. The Swiftie he is.
I genuinely ask my wife randomly, can we watch this? And those of you that haven't seen it, one, you should see it because it's crazy good. But two, it's also 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours long. So
I'm gonna need an intermission.
Huh?
I'm gonna need an intermission for that.
The thing is, like, it transitions so good together that like there's no like break. Yeah, bullish on Swift. So is the entire world, Dan.
You think in 20 years we'll get Taylor Swift to do a Collecticon?
I don't think we would even be able to get in the building to vend if that were the case.
Maybe. That's true. Oh man.
I just for fun because she's ending her tour, and I won't talk too much about Taylor Swift, but she has a couple shows in Indianapolis coming up like in 2 weeks. So I was like, oh, let me just check what the tickets are. There's tickets that are
Thousands.
literally behind the screen. Like, so the stage goes out into the field, right? Like Lucas Oil. So like you could still see her, but like you're still behind the screen that plays the video. And it was like the 400 section all the way up, and they were like $2,000 a piece.
Crazy. So when are you going?
Dan, do I get a Christmas bonus?
Yeah. Dan's got it. I mean, company outing. Everyone go to the Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah, it's a write-off. It's a write-off.
There you go.
We'll FaceTime and talk about Pokemon while I'm there.
Exactly.
What about you? Do you have a movie that you watched, Java, that you really liked recently? Did you say that?
That I've been watching a lot of like horror movies recently just because it's October. Ones recently that I really liked. I watched a movie last night that I thought was good. It was called Late Night with the Devil. Came out last year. And it's basically like a talk show host or like a talk show scenario. And it's got like possession and all this sort of, horror-y type stuff. But I thought it was pretty good, entertaining. So that was on Hulu, I think. But
I haven't watched like horror movies in so long.
most of them are so trash.
Yeah, they're like cheesy kind of.
Yeah. I like the ones that are kind of so I don't get scared by like or really care about like the slasher stuff, like the gory slasher, like Jason and Freddy and all that stuff. My stuff is more like the like I don't know if you ever saw like Strangers or saw the trailer for that, but like the home invasion or the stuff where like you have to check behind the shower curtain before you go to bed at night just to make sure. That type of stuff scares the crap out of me. Like some paranormal stuff sometimes, and then like the home invasion stuff is just
You know what used to always freak me out is when I was younger, we used to always have like Halloween trick or treating at my house. We would go with my friends and come back and eat pizza and all that kind of stuff. And we would always watch the movie It. And the people that don't know, like, it's a clown coming out of a drain, like a shower drain.
Oh yeah.
And so when I was younger, I was always afraid after I watched that to like close my eyes in the shower to rinse out shampoo. And so like that always stuck with me my whole life. But you were mentioning like pulling back the shower curtain. It was like open your eyes, like rinsing your eyes with shampoo.
Didn't want to close your eyes or else
Yeah, that kind of the real life stuff that like, hey, I do this. I like that stuff's kind of creepy.
Oh yeah, so Dan brings up the platform. I watched the first one when first. It's a really interesting concept. It's like you elect to go into this place where there's a bunch of floors and you tell them what your favorite meal is. And the experiment is that if everyone just ate the meal that they put, starting at floor 1, going all the way down to like 300 or something like that, then everyone would eat. But people get greedy on the first, 50 floors and they eat all the food. And then you have a bunch of floors underneath that get no food. And then all sorts of craziness breaks out, like murders and stuff like that. It's a really interesting, it's an interesting concept. It's a good story. The first one I think is a lot better than the second one. The second one just feels a lot like the first one. They just kind of do the same movie twice. But yeah, that's an interesting one. It's short. It's kind of gruesome, so definitely not a kid thing. But yeah, very, very interesting concept.
That's like a cooler concept of like what Saw is, right? Like so many things in games in Saw, like if the people just work together, they would be able to get out of it.
Yeah.
But they end up panicking and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of want to watch it.
It's pretty good. It's in Spanish. I think it's a Spanish movie, but it has like a dub, or you can watch it subbed or whatever.
Are you guys closed caption people, or
that just have it on all the time?
Not like all the time. Like I don't watch like a football game with it, but
oh no, yeah. Like with movies and stuff, I do, because sound mixing is so ass on movies nowadays.
Yeah, it's like you
You
get
can't hear
random,
what
like,
people are
super
saying
loud
because
spots. Yeah,
especially Christopher Nolan movies where it has to be like wah, wah, and
yeah.
be like there's
Yeah, that's
dialogue
fair.
happening. It's like what the heck?
Yeah, it's like I want it. Like I'm the kind of person like I want to know everything they're saying because like if I feel like I'm gonna miss something, and that's like why I'm not a big reader because I feel like I have to reread the page 15 times because I don't want to miss something and then have to go back. And like when I don't have closed captioning on during movies, I like can't comprehend what's going on for some reason.
I need to give Peak his credit. He brought up the platform, not Dan. My bad, Peak.
Yeah, Peak's better than Dan, so it's not a surprise there.
My fault. My fault. I saw Snowpiercer. They made a show. I like the movie. The movie's good. The show is okay.
Snowpiercer? What is that?
That's like the world goes through another ice age, but a billionaire built a train that circumnavigates the world so that people could survive.
94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's really good. It's solid. It's got Chris Evans played.
Oh, those are the okay. That's not the public though. The public has a way lower.
How much? Still got to be like 70s, right? 70s or 80s.
72, 50,000 ratings, and the critics are 94%.
I thought it was really good.
That's
But
still a pretty good rated movie. That's not bad.
yeah, that one's
I'll
solid.
check it out.
Tan
While we're on the
says, "I
topic
watch
of
good
movies, so I just recently bought a VHS player and a tube
Ooh.
TV. Kind of see it behind me. So I've been going back and watching some movies, just the way we used to. So what is you guys' favorite movie that was on VHS, like from the 80s, 90s? Because I need there's some that I still have not seen that I feel like are classics that I'm trying to go back and watch.
Ooh.
that
Oh
way.
man, I don't know if any of mine are I would consider classics or good. Street Fighter the movie.
Oh, okay.
That
most
was
of my answers are like Disney movies or like Pokemon 2000, right? So it's like the
Yeah.
obvious ones.
Batman and Robin.
You like Batman and Robin?
I watched it a lot as a kid. I wouldn't say that I liked it. I'm just trying to think of VHS movies that I watched as a kid.
Thrifty says Balto. It's a good one.
Balto. The Land
Thing.
Before Time.
Yeah, tearjerker.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those kind of movies.
They're actually releasing the new Alien movie on VHS, the one that's just coming out
Really?
as like a collectible.
Perfect.
So yeah,
That's isn't there like I think it's let me just check real quick. I think like one of like the super expensive VHS is actually the movie Cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was it like super late? Like
Yeah,
one of the last
it was the
VHSs?
latest release, and it was only, I think, sent out through some sort of club Disney did or something like that. So it wasn't even released in stores.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
wild. Like so many VHSs are like 50 cents, $1, and then like there's some that are just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I've been going deep into it. I've been grading a little bit.
Oh, you and Peak probably are
Yeah.
Yep.
If you guys haven't talked about it, you guys just need to get in a room and just stare at each other talk about it, because you probably are the only two people that I know of that are probably that deep into it.
Yeah, Peak, when are we gonna do it? He said we were gonna do it. It hasn't happened yet.
Is that one VHS grading company went out of business though, right? Wasn't there one kind of prominent one that stopped doing it?
Yeah, IGS. Yeah.
So who does it now?
Seems
Beckett
like
or
CGC is kind of the
CGC does
the main choice, but yeah, Beckett does too.
Gotcha. Okay.
It is pretty cool that CGC grades like everything.
I really want to get back into video game collecting, but it's too expensive.
Dude, I almost think every day just sell everything and go to video games and just peace out. No one sees me ever again, because I feel like I've talked about it so many times on podcasts. Like, video game content is so much better than Pokemon content. Like, whether you like convention stuff or like hunting, if like garage sales and like flea market type stuff, or just like the collecting series that they have, and like I don't know. It's probably because like I've been a huge gamer my whole life. Obviously I've been in Pokemon my whole life too, but I don't know. It just feels like fresh and nothing ever gets old. Like I feel like a lot of times in Pokemon, like people talk about the same thing over and over again. And in video games, like there's just so many video games, like so many consoles that you've never heard of, so many games you've never heard of. Oh my god, video game soundtrack grading. That is, you are way too deep in it, man. You either are going to be the absolute smartest person of all time, or you're going to be the only person that ever wants to buy those. There's no in between. But yeah, that's a video game. Like, if there was one thing I would ever do outside Pokemon, it would have to be video games, but it would be like all or nothing type thing. Like I couldn't do both. It would be one or the other.
Yeah.
So Dan, buy me out, and then I'll peace out for good.
You just be the video game guy.
It's just there's so much. There's so
I used
much.
to have an insane video game collection because I used to do the garage sailing where I would buy and then I'll flip doubles and then I would just build a collection and then I just sold it at one point and it was like 30 grand the collection. It was big with like
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, with like NES inbox, hundreds of NES inbox games, Super Nintendo inbox games. Like, it's my biggest regret.
Like, I don't know. I think it'd be so cool. Like, I could have like any WotC card in a PSA 10, but like if I had like a sealed Pokemon Silver, like, or like Pokemon Crystal, like even complete in box, like that would mean way more to me than a first gen Neo Genesis Lugia or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been like a year and a half now, and I'm obsessed with video game content. When I'm in bed before I go to sleep, like I watch video game content. It's just makes me happy.
I haven't really gone too far down that rabbit hole because I know like Phoenix Resale is probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, but he's more business, right? Like, so I guess it's a good transition, right? Like, if you watch someone like Dan or those kind of people, like he's probably the most similar person because he really talks more business focused stuff, but he does have like really. You should watch the GameCube Gambit, and it's his journey collecting GameCube games. So he's going to like game stores, and he only spends money that he flips with. So like if he finds a Pokemon Silver for $20 and he could sell it for $50, well now he has $30 budget to spend on a GameCube game.
That's cool.
So it was like a really cool series where he couldn't just go around, like he only bought stuff in person, not online. That kind of stuff's really fun to watch if you like GameCube, or he did a Switch series. And there's a lot of stuff out there. Like Pixel Game Squad is collecting every NES game right now. And they've did it in the past. So it's really fun content to watch. Or I would say business side thing too, Chase After the Right Price. They have 2 channels. They're like 5 full-time guys that basically do a full-time resale business out of a barn. And they have really, you learn so much about flipping in general from people that do it millions and millions of dollars a year in something else. I feel like you learn more watching them than you do Pokemon content.
Interesting.
Yeah, Caterpie is so much fun to watch. I agree, Grimer. That's like Chase After the Right Price.
What a great acronym.
They take advantage of it. They're the Caterpie crew, yeah. And he collects Pokemon, so like the upstairs of his barn is just full of like every ETB, and the walls have like top loader holders that are every WotC hollow, and it's like the best of both worlds if you like video games and cards.
I've always wanted to do a video where it's like a flip progression, kind of like that, where it's like a challenge. You start with like, I don't know, like $100 or $200 or something. You buy a bunch of raw cards, you flip, and then you're trying to get to a certain thing at a certain time. I've always thought about doing that the last couple of years, but I've just never. It would be such a like monumental. It would take forever to Like you have to remember to record the actual stuff. You have to remember to, edit it. You have to make sure that you don't send something to PSA before you can actually record that you bought it, type of thing. It's like there's so much that goes into like a 6-month progression video that I know that I would skip some steps and totally just ruin the.
And I think what
the
makes
whole
it
thing.
so interesting is like if you're able to like go to a card shop every single video or go to a flea market and find something there, like if
Yeah.
it's just sourcing stuff on the internet, I feel like it might get stale. That might be part of the problem. Like a lot of these ones I'm talking about, they're going to conventions and different flea markets and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, that's cool.
you just get invested with that kind of stuff, like a viewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, Peak is going in on this. Luke's like, Peak, stop talking about it.
Sorry, I opened the can of worms.
We're the only ones that do it. Stop talking about it. This guy's probably printing. He's probably retired 4 years ago because he's been flipping VHS and soundtracks.
Video game soundtracks.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, guys, I might wrap it up here. Appreciate you hopping on, Luke, and thanks for coming on with me, PoNGa, to chat and talk about some Surging Sparks. I do want to say before we go, before you guys do outros and tell the people where they can find you, I do want to say that I have an interview lined up in the middle of November with a prominent vendor POV creator I'm very excited about. It's one of the two that you're probably thinking of, which will be very fun, hopefully.
Is it the one I'm thinking of?
Maybe.
Oh, wait. No, I think I know who you... Okay.
One of the big guys has agreed to come on, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't want to like say it and then it not happen, but
yeah, no, don't say it. Don't say it.
I'll tease it. There's only 12 people here right now. So Bulbasaur.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Coop.
I thought Coop too.
Maybe Coop someday.
My first guess was Bulba, and then I was like, but you always talk about Coop, so I was like, maybe it's him.
No, so I did reach out to Bulbasaur a couple days ago and asked if he would want to come on and chat about, his business and his start in Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. And so we'll probably be doing that middle of November sometime. We do have a day. Planned for it. But yeah, it's a few weeks from now, so things can change. He's a busy guy, but hopefully we can make that happen because it would be pretty fun.
That'll be cool.
I baited you. You guys really want me to get Coop on? I'll ask him
because I feel like you were in Coop's video one time, right? And then
yeah.
You always bring him up, and like I always think of Bulbasaur first, but I feel like you might think of Coop first, so that's why I was kind of going there.
Yeah, no, I met I've met them both, but I met Bulbasaur at Charlotte, and he's watched a few of my videos, so I thought like, okay, he kind of knows who I am, so it's probably a better person to ask than Coop, who probably doesn't know that I even exist.
Yeah, wait, Luke, who do you think's more popular, Deep Pocket Monster or Bulbasaur?
Oh God, spat.
I mean, I think Deep Pocket Monster has more mass appeal. I mean, obviously he's I'm pretty sure he's way larger, but
so I know you're trying to wrap up Java, but just real quick, Spat, I met him. I think a lot of us met him in Chicago. He was trying to argue that Bulbasaur was basically more known than Deep Pocket Monster, and then proceeded to tell us that views didn't mean anything. And that's where I'll leave it.
It was an interesting conversation. He just kept going on it too. Like he would not accept.
No, he was gonna die on that hill, and he still would.
All right.
Oh man.
Yeah, Dan, because it's the most outrageous take I've ever heard someone say ever.
Well, Luke, tell the people where they can find you before we wrap up.
Yeah, guys, if you want to check out Legend of Luke, YouTube, Instagram, appreciate it. Java, thanks so much for having me on.
Of course.
PoNGa, always a pleasure.
Yeah, I just need to shout out Luke more. His channel is like you were saying it earlier, like you have such a variety of content. And I think you do a really, really good job on like the shorter form content compared to like what we do on lives and stuff. So keep that up. If you like that kind of content, grading, vendor POV, all that kind of stuff, he does it
Yeah,
all. And
it's
you,
extremely well produced.
yeah, I was just about to say
The
your
editing is
quality is,
very nice.
and I might have
Thanks,
some
guys.
audio questions for you because Dan made me break my PC the other day. So, um,
Yeah, anytime.
but yeah, check out Luke. He's the man. Check out his Whatnot stream too. Make him want to keep doing Whatnot because his stream was really well produced when I was watching.
Yeah, make me want to do dollar starts.
Hey, just try it, right? Like you might get
Yeah.
wrecked on a box. Just try it.
All right, and PoNGa.
I shilled enough at the beginning, but PoNGa Collectibles, Instagram, come check it out. Box Nostalgia Podcast with Beerski. We do every other week currently, and I don't think we've really missed an episode. So we do tier list, all that kind of stuff, bunch of different topics. We try to do it more segment based rather than Q&A, like all the other boring podcasts. And then Fanatics Live under Catch 'em All Collectibles. Follow the link in my bio or the one I post before every single show for $25 free credit, hashtag ad, hashtag affiliate. Or just hang out and stream. Fanatics Live every Thursday night, PK's live every other night, basically.
Cool. Appreciate you guys. Oh, I just closed the window. Oh no. All right. Appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you guys for stopping by. Last thing, on Halloween next week, Thursday the 31st, I will be playing a horror game, and every membership will create a jump scare noise during that horror game. So if you want to scare the shit out of me, come by Thursday night for a horror game. Should be fun. All right, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.